Hey everyone, Saz here from Meeples and Dragons again. Welcome back to day 5 of Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition. Raising money for Jasper's Game Day and Beyond Blue. We're already halfway through our fundraising stretch goal of $7,000, which is just incredible, everyone. We only set that this morning. And don't forget, if we reach that goal, we're going to be giving away a legendary bundle thanks to D&D Beyond to celebrate. Also, every $250 that's added to the donation bar tonight and tomorrow, I'll be running giveaways in chat. Now, next one's due to occur at around 6,250. So get on the Tiltify, see how you can impact this game, and keep an eye out in chat for those giveaways. Now we've gotten through all the fun stuff. I'm going to send you over to your Dungeon Master for this game, Mathew, for even more fun. Have fun, everyone!
Welcome, one and all, to Residium Heist. I am Mathew, DM of There Be Dragons, the podcast. But today, and one night only, I am your storyteller for this slot in Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition, brought to you by Ardent, Roleplay, and Meeples and Dragons. So, before we get started with the game proper, we should go around the table, introduce ourselves, and explain that we unfortunately have a person who's slightly missing at the moment. We're hoping they'll return to us shortly. But let's get started with introducing our good friend Luna.
Hey everybody, my name is Luna, aka Lou Buffin. I'm a D&D YouTuber, and tonight I'm going to be playing Jace Tanth, the Gunslinger.
Love it. Let's continue the role with Kevin.
All right, I'm Kevin, and I will be playing Luke, the Artillerist Artificer.
Brilliant. Next cab off the rank is the lovely Georgina.
Hi, I'm Georgina. I'm going to be playing Delia Noir. She is a rogue sorcerer.
And last but not least, at least for the moment, Chris.
Look, a cat dragged in. Hey, I'm Chris. I will be playing Pins, a Kenku assassin. Let's see how that goes to me.
Absolutely. So, as you may or may not have already guessed, this is a Western-style game. But don't worry, the D&D 5e that you all know and love is present. So, before we get into the game proper, we should probably cover one last thing, which is that the reason we are here. So we are, as you might already know, raising funds for suicide prevention with Jasper's Game Day, and as a result, there are a number of ways that you, the player, you, the viewer, can interact with the story and just throw everything into absolute chaos, which every game I've seen through through Jasper's this week has been absolutely the case. So we have several donations at different donation levels, and I just thought I'd run through them very quickly for you. First of all, we have a tip of the hat. That is us tipping the hat to you to thank you for kindly donating to a really fantastic cause. That's a $10 American donation, and if you make that, we would greatly appreciate that. The next is the Dimmadome. Now, unfortunately, Scarlet Moth, who will hopefully be with us shortly, this is specific to her. As you could probably tell, if those of you are fans of the Fairly Odd Parents, I believe that's where it's from. The Dimmadome is a big hat, and it just keeps getting bigger. So Scarlet Moth, her hats will increase in size continuously throughout if you decide to donate at the $15 level. Now, the trick shot at the $20 is nominated to a single player, and the trick shot allows a reroll, so it is functionally advantage, but also allows the players to want to declare, rather, if they need a desired narrative effect. So things like shooting off a lock, or firing a round that bounces off several pots and pans and then goes through someone's top hat. Whatever it might be, as long as it's not too overpowered, we'll allow it. The next is the Black Powder Special. So in the world of Residium Heist, black powder is magical in nature, and as a result, sometimes things go wrong. That's where your wild surges will come through. If you nominate a player with the Black Powder Special, they will have an immediate, irrevocable, and possibly continuous wild magic surge effect, which I'm really looking forward to inflicting upon my players. I'm a good DM, I swear. This is going to be a D100 roll, and I will give you the result as it plays out. Next, cab off the rank from bad to worse. This is a narrative thing. Basically, whatever situation the players find themselves in, I get to make it worse. Immediately. So, for example, if they've started a small fire and someone decides to make it go from bad to worse, that fire now fills a room and is currently burning down the structure that they're in, and they will have to deal with it. This couldn't take any form. It's entirely to my discretion, but you are all basically going to be giving me license to make the players' lives hell. Conversely, if you'd like to fan the hammer, which is our next rank, instead of a single attack, because this is a world where pistols and revolvers are a thing, you may instead opt to give the players the opportunity to fan the hammer, which means they get to fire all remaining shots in their pistol, rifle, whatever it might be, and then go straight for that reload. They can shoot at single or multiple targets. It's up to you, but they can only do so if you give them that support. The second to last one is the Weird West and Weirder Magic. Black powder, again, isn't exactly stable, but this time you guys get to pick anybody, NPC, boss, another member of the party again, and they then become the subject of a wild magic surge. So as you can tell, very much geared towards creating as much chaos as possible. And speaking of chaos, we have one last level, a raiding party. For a big $100 dues, an unexpected, unwanted, and potentially quite lethal posse arrive to make things worse. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys generate with us. So if we're all ready to go, let's get heisting, heisters. Soren, I believe you might have a music cue that you might be able to play for me. If so, could you please do that now? Well, howdy, partners. Welcome to the wild, wild East. For the past century, the forces of civilization, such as they are, have pushed ever forward into the bad lands, good lands, and, let's be honest, strange lands of the Forbidden East. They bring with them black iron, black powder, and, let's be frank, bloody intentions. Well, you see, there is magic in them hills, and where magic is concerned, you best know your friends are your friends and your enemies are your enemies, lest they become one and the same. There's much to be said about the march of progress. Towns and cities and this landscape are fed by the black iron rails, the veins of civilization, as it were. The great black iron trains traverse great distances in mere days, and it is a time of wonders, innovations, invention, and just enough distance between opportunity and the law. Well, this particular tale takes place in a dusty little town in just such a situation, deep in the bosom of the great Mother Mountains, ironically named Redemption. Now, I say ironically, as Redemption once lived up to its name when times were good. The residuum flowed, and the honest folk could do an honest day's work for an honest day's wage. Now, though, the fane is all but exhausted, and many have moved on to greener pastures. So, as we all know, where prosperity dies, criminality always rises. But that is why the good folk of Redemption cling to the Church of the Reclaimer Spirits, a faith based on luminous power that seeks to uplift the wretched. Time will tell if the battle for the soul of this dying little town will fall to good or to evil, but that perhaps is a different story, for our little caper follows those that are on the more practicable side of life, the more eccentrical sorts, and, shall we say, unintentionally murderous folks that pepper this sparse landscape. And so, to that, join me as the buzzard flies as we watch a stagecoach drawn by 4 tumbling armadillos roll down the dusty road, winding towards Redemption with nothing but ill intentions. Delia Noir! It has been a long and dusty road to Redemption. But now you see the town on the horizon fading in and out with the heat. There are a flock of snapdragon tumbleweeds that have decided to follow your stagecoach. And your driver reaches over, grabs a shotgun, leans over and fires a warning round at them to scare them off. The snapdragon tumbleweeds are a bit of an opportunistic sort. They like to flock in as a, I guess what you call a swarm of sorts. And this is a pretty wise precaution given that they have been known to attack the odd opportune target. You, however, are safely tucked away inside a armored stagecoach trapped with a small gnomish gentleman who has been sleeping this entire trip with a bowler hat pulled down over his face. The noises he has been making have been surprising for a person so small. But could you please describe to me Delia and what she's currently doing?
Delia is sat very rigid and regal. She's wearing some sort of fur. She's just watching and waiting to see when or if this gentleman may wake.
He does not. In fact, he rolls over and starts to mutter something about banknotes. But as he does so, you feel the coach begin to lurch to a slow roll and eventually come to a stop, with the stagecoach driver knocking on the wall in front of you. And he calls out saying, Miss Noir, we may have some trouble.
Well, deal with it.
Oh, very well, ma'am. You hear him cock the shotgun, level it, and go, "Get out of here, you bastard!" From behind an outcropping of rocks, a single figure holding a pistol level at the driver approaches, rolling on the back of an armadillo. So those of you who don't know, an armadillo is effectively just a giant armadillo that has a effectively like a gyro that allows a rider to sit atop it, as it in fact acts like a giant wheel. 4 of those are currently hitched to the front of the wagon. This bandit, it would seem, as he has a neckerchief up over his nose, seems completely disinterested in the driver and says, "Y'all only had 2 shots and you already used one on them snapdragons, boy. Now, why don't you just step down, lay down that big old honking gun of yours and let your wealthy passengers out so that I can empty their wallets?"
I think at this point, Delia would try and point her little gun towards wherever that voice was coming from and fire up a warning shot towards them.
Great. I feel like that's an initiative roll, but let's keep it narrative and roll me an attack, because I think that's a pretty surprising thing.
That's a 9.
A 9. Oh dear. Okay, the shot goes wide. What the hell? Who's assassin? This would-be bandit ducks down and then slides off the side of his armadillo, slapping it on the butt. It rolls forward. He levels the gun and goes, "I ain't kidding around. I got 3 eagle-eyed snipers lined up on y'all. And if you think I'm lying," he pulls the pistol up, fires once, and a shot just pings off one of the armadillo's armored carapaces. Doesn't seem to be bothered by it at all. But he does indeed seem to be telling the truth.
Right. I think Delia would just start yelling out of the crack that she'd made to put her gun through, and just be like, "I really don't think you know who you're dealing with at this point. You should have heard of me, and you shouldn't mess with me."
Oh, that's a likely story. Go on then, tell me what your name is.
Well, I'm sure you've heard of the Noirs, and I'm sure you wouldn't want them hearing of you.
Roll me an intimidation check with advantage.
Sick. That would be a 17.
This guy, eyes go wide, takes a half step back, and you hear a muttering of voices going back and forth from this sniper's nest. And she goes, "The Noir family, you say? Well,
Is there any other family?"
Oh, no, apart from perhaps the Chainwatch family around these parts. Let me confer with my Confederates. And he just sort of hobbles over to this area. There's again another rushed back and forth of words. "We don't believe you," is the response.
Well, that may be your mistake.
You hear the stagecoach driver saying, "Ma'am, let me just shoot this son of a bitch and we can get out of here."
If you wish.
Okay, yeah. He straight up fires. This dude just gets the shot right in the chest, goes down like a lump. Stagecoach driver just cracks the whip. The thing just rolls back into full speed. The 3 men who were hiding open fire, but the bullet shot just pings off of the coach. Nothing gets through. It's not until about a mile further down the track that a particularly large bump wakens up the gnomish passenger and he goes, "Oh, Miss Delia Noir, I apologize, I must have drifted off."
Only for the last 6 hours.
Oh, my apologies. Shall we continue our game of cribbage?
Well, if you wish to continue to lose.
It'd be my pleasure. We cut away from Delia Noir as she finishes up her long 6-hour stagecoach ride and heads to her ultimate destination of the Last Stop Saloon. Pins. The sun is high in the sky and it cuts through the many it cuts through the wall of this barn that you have found a nice resting spot in. The god rays that are shining through hit you in the face and probably make you come awake with a bit of an unpleasant start. Could you describe Pins for me and what he has planned for the day?
Pins is an elegantly dressed Kenku wearing double denim because that's all the fashion in this part of the world, and I'm not going to hear a word against it. As a Kenku, it's very clear that he has a very fine moustache because all Kenkus can't really grow moustaches, but he's got one. We're not quite sure how.
Brilliant.
We're not quite sure why, but he has a moustache. At the moment,
I love it.
He's doing a couple of things. One is he has a list in front of him. It's the list of names that he's been slowly crossing off, and he caresses the sniper rifle next to him and continues cleaning a very long-barreled gun. However, the curious thing about Pins is he seems to have a number of large, almost hat-like pin, dagger-like in their sharpness, which he seems to sharpen, and he uses them to poke out the names of those on his list. He flips open a timepiece, looks at it, closes it, and then goes, "Caw!"
I love it. You hear a voice call down from below the hayloft where I believe Pins has probably found a nice roost. Call up and say, "Cacao?
Caw!
Oh, you're one of them Kenku. Hello there. My name is Frankie."
Frankie!
Yes, that's my name. As you look down, you see a rather callow youth, purple tinged skin, big, like droopy, like long lick of hair over one eye. He goes, "I'm sorry if I'm interrupting anything. I thought I'd come in here and find some peace by myself. I can leave if you want."
Leave!
Okay. Frankie doesn't seem. Frankie seems to be. Okay.
Okay!
You're not particularly talkative, are you?
Okay! Leave!
All right. He takes his hat off, holds it to his breast, and goes, My apologies for interrupting, sir," and then exits with a bundle of papers under his shoulder. It's been a minute since you've had a good meal, Pins. There are plenty of places to get a nice bowl of grubs. literally, in town. One such place that you're aware of is the Last Stop Saloon. So where you decide to head next, I don't know, but it's probably in search of something to eat.
Yeah. To keep this sort of figure, Pins doesn't really eat that much, but he likes to drink sipping whiskey because it's good for the bird internals. It's a well-known fact.
Absolutely. Wars were fought over such things, in fact. And I believe a piece of information about Pins that perhaps chat's not aware of is that Pins himself is, in fact, a veteran of the Great Emu War, a recent bloody conflict fought between two very determined sides, ending in a white peace. The next thing that you're out walking the town and you see a large stagecoach blow past you with 4 armadillos pulling in tow and a very fancy looking lady in it. And she seems to be heading to where you're heading. Roll me a quick dex save just to not get thrown into the mud.
A 19, DM.
Brilliant. Yeah. So this thing could have easily caught you. The drover of this thing, for whatever reason, seems to be in a real rush. You can smell gun smoke on the wind as it blows past. It would have run you down if not for your expertise in not being hit. Brilliant. So moving forward. Oh, hello.
Ow.
Excellent. We have our next character joining us. But before we do that, I don't know how Pins feels about nearly being run down in the street, but it almost doesn't matter because the next thing you hear is just an explosion somewhere in the town. Some glass near you shatters. It's that much of a concussive force. Several people in the street fall over into the mud. And someone goes, "What the hell?" But to find out the source of such a nasty happenstance in the town, we're going to now cut to Luke Cardinal, who is currently within a darkened room, shuffling around between detritus of all kinds of wondrous things. You see tools of his trade, beakers, pliers, dedicated and delicate engraving tools, sturdy sledgehammers. From the ceiling, pendants are hanging, papers, and nearby you can even see like a half-eaten sandwich which has gone to molder. Possibly it's some kind of experiment, or maybe it's just Luke being forgetful, who knows. But Luke, could you please describe to us yourself and what you're currently working on?
All right. Luke is a high elf, typical pale skin and white hair. He's got a cowboy hat. He's covered in small pouches. He's got a backpack. He's got a bandolier over his shoulders full of ammo. And he's got a big heavy coat that's also chock full of pockets. He just has all of the gadgets and tools that he needs. And he's just experimenting on some explosive ammunition that it certainly won't go wrong.
Absolutely not. So, Luke, you put this piece of experimental explosive ammunition into your implement, which I believe is in the shape of a 44 or something similar.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yep.
Yep.
You draw back the hammer, aim it at your makeshift target, and then your world is nothing but lights and sound as the entire front of your house blows out into the street. The roof flies off and back, lands on an unfortunate cowpat. What do they call like a muckraker's like muck pen, coating the nearest houses in just filth. All the windows in the street over either side of this house that was but a moment ago just a peaceful, calm place shatter outwards, a armadillo starts to keen, not in terror, not unlike a car alarm. You just hear like this thing going, and then from the smoke, Luke emerges, just entire front of his face blown back. Obviously not a scratch on him because he's quite adept at dealing with this, and probably not the first time it's happened. And clearly that wasn't a successful experiment, was it, Luke?
It was not. He's just going to pull out a little piece of paper, make a note. That was, I believe the technical term is overkill. All right, I will adjust the formula for next time.
As you're scribbling on notes, a goose woman waddles out of the remnants of her house and starts angrily huffing up her dress and honking towards you. And she says in like a thick voice, "This is the third time in 2 weeks. When are you going to stop these experiments, Luke Cardinal?"
It's not that bad. It barely got into your yard.
I have had to replace my windows more times than anyone should have to in a month. So this is the Widow Gren. You have a bit of a love-hate relationship with her. On the one hand, she occasionally brought you food. On the other hand, that stopped pretty quickly after you just started destroying her property on a regular basis.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but I can also fix some of her property.
When are you going to replace the stuff that you destroyed last time?
Once I go make some money to fix this mess.
Yeah, your house is now like one wall and a couple of stands that hold most of the rest of the rubble up. Your belongings are, as far as you're aware, scattered throughout the town. And you can hear like alarm bells coming from like the sheriff's office as they're running to investigate this situation. Luke, not that many of us at home would know, but you're not exactly known for legal acquisitions of property, are you?
No, not even a little bit.
All right. So with the law coming towards you, perhaps you might want to think of a way to get some funds up to pay any fines and repair whatever you've got.
You know what? I think I need a drink to think this over.
Brilliant. And so, Luke, you
skedaddle.
make your way. Brilliant. So you make your way to the Last Stop Saloon. We cut now to the Last Stop Saloon. With the dull tinkle of piano keys being mixed in with the rumble of people gambling and drinking beneath the floorboards, Jace Tanth lies asleep on a bed in the best room in the house. The atmosphere in this room is a mixture of bad breath, sweat, liquor, and the musky scent of like bruised perfume. And then there is just a deafening explosion that blows the windows out of the room. And Jace Tanth, you jerk awake.
God damn it! Where am I? Where are my clothes?
Roll me at a flight intelligence check.
Okay.
Disadvantage.
Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I got a natural 20 and a natural 1.
The duality of man.
Well, look,
Nothing like a dramatic entrance, hey?
Nothing like a dramatic entrance. We have a trick shot for Scarlet Moth, her character Buzz, which I'll introduce in just a minute. But just letting everybody know out there. I think that has to be treated with the due deference that both a 1 and a 20 comes together, because how often are you going to get both ends of the thing? So you remember some things. Now, whether or not those are flights of fantasy on your behalf, you don't recall, but you do recall meeting possibly the most amazing woman you've ever met. The term used in polite society is companion. The lovely Emeralda of the last Stop Saloon was your companion most recently. And you don't know for certain, but you think that when you guys were, well, when you ladies were between the sheets, that she was capable of some incredible things that just defy explanation. But you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I got plastered and met an attractive young woman with negotiable affection.
Just a regular Tuesday.
I remember now. Exactly. And as you're putting those thoughts together, you hear at the door.
What?
And you hear the voice of your brother call through. Jace, I know you're in there. Can we speak, please?
Thought I told you not to come around here anymore. And I just start putting my clothes on. So Jace is like a tiefling woman, maybe in her like late 40s or so. Like her clothes are so rumpled, like they've just been rolled around in the dirt. And she just kind of starts like buckling her, like belt on with her pistol and stuff like that, kind of shielding her eyes from the sun.
You just hear, Jace, I'm not letting you put this conversation off any longer. We need to talk. It's important.
All right, fine. If it means you'll go away.
So you open the door and you see your brother, Will Tanth, the pater of redemption. He's dressed in his ceremonial robes, a very simple light blue tunic with a silver sunburst over his heart, high collar, and in his hand he holds the good book, which is literally what it's called. It's not a euphemism. That's what they call it. Will has changed over the last few years. You knew him as a child, and obviously growing up together you were very close, but you drifted apart as siblings sometimes want to do. Since you reconnected, he has found religion, and as a result has shaved his head bald, leaving his quite prominent horns out proudly. And they've either been painted or possibly even dipped in silver. And you notice that his fingernails are dipped in silver as well. And this is a pretty significant sign because it is effectively part of the rites of becoming a pater of the faith. Will has adopted the tenets of the luminous beings, the luminous spirits that seek to uplift those who would, frankly, like and much prefer to live a wretched existence of sin and excess. And he looks at you in your bedraggled state and goes, goodness, did you sleep with all of the companions here?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, you always were the messy one. And he steps inside and closes the door behind him. He goes, Jason, look, I'm not here to argue. You clearly need guidance. I worry for your immortal soul. You are falling into the path of lasciviousness, drunkenness, loudishness.
You are such a hypocrite. I remember all those things we were doing as kids. If Daddy could see you now, he would roll in his grave.
I disagree.
Religion.
I like to think that... Now, just because our kind have a certain reputation doesn't mean we can't lift ourselves up. All is possible within the faith. You only need to believe and hold yourself to a higher standard. You yourself held yourself to a higher standard. Where's the woman
look
who
where
was
that got me.
Well, you've never told me about what happened in the war, and it pains me that you will not tell me and that you will not see me as someone you can unburden yourself to.
Look, I don't want to talk about the Emu War, okay?
If you do, such a terrible conflict, so many lives lost.
Yeah.
And for what? Birdseed?
Fuck.
I'm trying to hold a straight face, guys. Come on.
In character, here we go. It's very serious.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, I only found out that you were here because of Buzz downstairs, and I was actually coming to meet with some of the town elders to see about repairs to the church. We've had some problems with... Well, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't interest you anyway. But it pains me to see you destroying yourself like this, sister.
Look, you stay out of my life, I'll stay out of yours. All right? That's the agreement we made. You keep coming around here and banging on my door. I don't want any more to do with it. I'm going, and I'm just gonna walk out the door and head downstairs.
Yeah.
And turn around now because you're not welcome anymore.
You leave your brother Will Tant standing in the doorway, questioning everything about your relationship, and it's very plain to see that he is very upset and doesn't know how to help you. But maybe it's not his place to. That's really the question here. We cut now to Bell's Buzz Vidon. Piano and drink flow in the saloon. And behind the counter, Buzz, you see Emeralda, the companion of the Last Stop Saloon, as she sits in the lap of a rotund man wearing a gold fob watch and a blue coat, sitting with two other people that are dressed very similarly. You guys lock eyes and you both share a moment because, like you, Emeralda is a shapeshifter. She is comfortable in any skin and regularly and routinely takes different skins to, please clientele. But she's a very free spirit. And when she's not catering to particular tastes, she takes the form of a green-toned air genasi. And as such, that's why she's known as the Jewel of the Last Stop. You see young Frankie come into the saloon looking a bit flustered. And he throws a bunch of papers onto the table and goes... But these are wanted posters from the sheriff. You should probably put them up here. I have to go. Mum has called me back home. I need to help her repair a fence. There's a really strange bird in town, sleeping in one of the haylofts where I like to go and mope.
And by bird you mean
A kenku, I think.
I see.
Well, anyway, these are for you, and he pushes them in front of you. And true to his word, they are a collection of wanted posters. There's Willie the Biz, someone called Big Lizzie and the Harpies, which sounds like a prog rock band, but there you go. You take those into your hand, Buzz, and you look out at your life as it is. You're working the bar as a bar wench for the Last Stop. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Buzz looks like?
Buzz, currently at least, for the job that she moonlights at, looks like a very, very plain human woman. Just brown hair, brown eyes, nothing remarkable about her. That is how she's trying to look on purpose. And she's also not speaking in her real voice, which frustrates her some days. Underneath her large, voluminous bar wench skirt, if you look very closely, you could probably just see a lot of rustling movement. And if you looked extremely closely and maybe peeked up underneath, you might see a swarm of rats.
Yep. Rat skirt, it's a thing. So, speaking of rats, you feel one of them tug at your ankle. And as you look down to inspect it, it holds up a little piece of paper with little rat paws. It looks like a telegram strip.
She'll duck down behind the bar for a moment. Yes, friend. What is your missive?
And it just shakes it in front of it. It's a rat. It can't read. So It holds it up for you, and you can see written on the strip the text: "Your terms are acceptable. Return what is mine in 3 days, and you will receive your just reward."
Excellent. This makes Buzz happy.
Yes. And Buzz, as you roll back up to deal with the bar, which is basically empty at this point, everyone's sort of sitting around at little tables. A man in a black overcoat and hat sits with his brim drawn down, and he says, "Whiskey."
She'll clear her throat to go back to her disguised voice. Oh, yes, coming right up. Would you like just the regular, or would you like the fireball?
I like the sound of the fireball.
Right up, sir.
As you're serving this gentleman whiskey, you see Will Tant, the local pater, walk past and then go upstairs, and then a explosion just rocks the place. The man in black doesn't seem to care. He just finishes his whiskey, puts it down, goes, "Another."
Coming right up. And then she'll duck down behind the bar to go to grab another bottle and tell one of her rats, You go up and you go upstairs, you follow the pater."
And the little rat scampers up the stairwell. The sort of confused silence that has ended in this explosion. You hear someone yelling upstairs, which you know is your latest boarder. "What the goddamn hell was that?" And then sort of a shouting match happening upstairs. This sort of commotion is then cut through by another voice yelling from outside, and you hear, "Burstfire McGuire, I'm calling you out." The man who sits at the counter, sipping whiskey, goes, "Looks like someone's tired of living. Excuse me."
You still want your second whiskey, or...?
"Keep the whiskey there waiting for me. Leave the conversation." And he sort of just one leg hops off, and he walks out with cowboy spurs rolling like... Everybody crowds around the windows immediately because there's not been a good shootout here in quite a while. It's at this point a stagecoach also pulls up with some armadillo, followed by not a bedraggled, but a flustered-looking kenku, and a extremely badly burnt high elf, just black all over his face. And there is a human man standing there. He looks like he's some kind of farmer, possibly. He's got a little cowboy rifle in hand. He goes, "You killed my brother, you son of a bitch." To which this man...
Whilst this is all happening and the crowd is crowding around the windows and the doors, it's going to go up behind a bunch and start pickpocketing, please.
Oh, brilliant. Roll me some sleight of hand. Let's call it 3 checks. Let's see how we go.
That's my hat falling down. The first one's a 16, second one's a dirty 20, and the third one is an 18. Yeehaw.
You managed to pull yourself a whole $5 out of someone's pocket, followed up with the fob watch that rotund gentleman was wearing, and last of all, you pull some lint, and you're like, "This looks like some kind of actual spell component stuff, so maybe I'll just save that for later." Yeah. When I say lint, it's actually more like fuse. Is probably closer to what it is. Delia and Luke and Pins. You see these two men square off. The man in black says, "I shot your brother because he drew on me. Sheriff agreed. In fact, you followed me 5 towns. This job tells me you got the same desire to die pointless." There's a tense moment. This guy goes, "I'll kill you, you son of a..." And he doesn't even finish his sentence. He goes to grab the pistol. This guy just fans the hammer 6 times, shoots this guy dead. You don't even see him put the pistol back in his holster. Without a word, just turns around Buzz, you finished your round with this this pickpocketing, and
Going back behind the bar.
yeah, he just goes. He downs the whiskey, puts the glass back up, and says, "Sorry about the fuss. I'll get out your hair."
No trouble.
Yep, and the mysterious stranger known as Burstfire Maguire leaves. Everybody sort of comes in and starts like remarking about the dead body. The pater Will eventually comes down, hot on the heels of Jace, and starts administering last rites, leaving the party finally coalesce. Thus endeth the meat saying all the stuff, and now now beginneth the story proper, I suspect. Let's start it up with Buzz. You know for a fact that there is crime afoot, and you're the big business owner of the last stop, Cole, has been looking for a number of useful people to work with on a particularly pricey score. And there stands before you a number of people who potentially could help you.
So I've got this this strange bird out in the hay bales. There's Jace upstairs. There's a apparently soot-covered high elf, and someone rich who just rolled into town.
Absolutely. And you actually kind of know all of them from previous work together. But that's a different story. I'm going to open the floor to you guys to have a conversation now while...
Has Jace, has she ambled downstairs yet?
Yeah, I've come downstairs. I probably come straight to the bar, like, just to get back on it immediately.
You would probably notice that a rat has crawled its way up your trouser leg to hide itself.
Oh, okay. Nah. Buzz, I told you I don't like that.
I just love the fact there's a point where you're like, no, this is okay. Like, what?
Yeah, we're familiar from previous things. Buzz, I don't like the rats.
We haven't.
Sorry.
Sorry to cut across everybody. We got a Dimmadome donation, which I believe it means that Scarlet Moth, you've got some obligations you have to meet.
Yeah, this hat doesn't even stay on my head, so I might just go. Should I just put the hat on?
Let's do it.
And use that as my base.
Let's do it. Thanks very much, guys, for donating for the Dimmadome. We've got ourselves possibly the largest hat in creation.
Doesn't even fit in frame.
We're getting there. It's an effort. Great.
There we go.
Sorry, I interrupted. Please continue. The fact that it's blurred is the worst part. It just...
I mean, I could unblur it. It's just...
No, that's a hat. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep rambling, ramblers.
Oh, well, hey. What are the odds that all of us are here at the same time again?
I'm guessing it was you making those noises that woke me up.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You owe me a drink.
Well, I'm a little short on cash right now.
Yeah.
Who isn't?
Definitely unrelated to that explosion.
All right, Buzz, just put it on my tab.
Your tab is 3 pages long by now, Jace.
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Well, this round's on me then.
Wonderful.
Well, hey, Delia.
Delia Noir.
What brings the Miss Noire to the little bar of ours?
Just making a friendly stop. It's been a while since we've seen each other.
Somebody wants me to go fetch the bird.
So,
looking around.
At this point, I think Pins has sidled up and sat near you all, possibly out of interest. I'm not sure. But either way, the back room of the saloon opens to reveal a rotund half-orc who walks out. And this is the proprietor, Cole Amity, owner of the Last Stop Saloon.
I just got that. That's got the name.
Thank you. There we go. Now, Buzz, you're probably the only person who actually knows a little bit about Cole, but I think both Jace and Pins might have a bit of an insight on this. So I'll get you both to roll me a history check.
Ooh. Oh, it's not my strong suit. I got 7.
7? Unfortunate.
22.
Okay. Pins, you've seen this gentleman before. His face has been on several wanted posters all over the territory. He was once known by another name, which is Bloodbath McGrath. He was a gunfighter, bank robber, and general ne'er-do-well, but he seems to have gone straight now, and he seems to be living under an assumed name here, having found a nice little corner of perfection to live in.
Looking around the room, is Bloodbath armed in any way, shape, or form?
Not that you can see, although he does definitely look like he could easily conceal something on his person or behind a bookshelf or anything. He's got that kind of 1,000-yard stare about him that you immediately associate with people who are looking at items around the place as weapons as opposed to just regular household items.
Watching, well, there's there is tasty morsels of food apparently running up Jace's leg at this point in time, which is kind of weird. I'm like, snack and whiskey. So carefully keeping this guy, because I have the bird eye on him, make my way towards Buzz and Luna. Buzz and Jace at the bar.
Brilliant.
And then say, whiskey?
The usual, the strong one.
Yeah, strong one.
No snack on the rats this time, though. I remember last time.
And as he takes the shot glass, he gestures towards McGraw.
McGraw notices it and goes, slightly inclined of the head towards him. There's an unspoken moment, like knows like, you know what I mean? And Cole leans over your shoulder, Buzz, and says, well, is this just about everybody that was worth talking to? We got business to deal with.
Yes, this is game.
I like it. Bring the Kenku. All y'all, back room now. And he turns and makes his way back.
Just
You'll hear
right
the boss. Back room.
Follow.
Great. As you walk into the back room, the door is closed behind it, and it is very clear that this door is reinforced on the rear end. It actually closes like a bank vault door, and he spins a seal. So you won't be interrupted, or possibly you'll be trapped here with him. One of the two. It's literally 50-50. And Cole sits at the head of a large table with a map of the territory laid out upon it and says, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for making the time to listen to our little proposition brought to us by the lovely Delia Noir.
At this point, Buzz also drops her shapeshift and goes to her real form. She has like porcelain white skin, white hair, white eyes. She basically looks like a mannequin almost.
Terrifying. That's horrific. I'm literally viscerally reacting to that as we speak. Okay, so Cole goes, I never get used to that, and grabs a bottle nearby, takes a quick swig. Well, Miss Noir reached out about a month ago about an opportunity we've got here in Redemption. Now, as you all know, the vein of Residium has run out, but the last shipment leaves tomorrow with one Aris Chainforge. Aris Chainforge is the proprietor of the local mine, but has closed up shop and is going to be taking his train, the Big Blank Check, back on down to Paris City. Big industry city, a lot of competition. Miss Noir here thinks that we can get a little edgewise on that. How does that sound to y'all?
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm not doing anything else today, so.
So I put together a little plan with Miss Noir here. And I think that I'll explain to you the reason as to what we're doing. Excuse me? A small chiming like monkey that he's got on the wall just comes down and gets turned off. Yes, apologies. It does that from time to time. I'm not sure why. It's a curio I picked up. Anyway, that may happen again. I apologize if it does. He then points to the map and says, the objective of this heist is to break into the Big Blank Check as it is en route to Paris City. There's a shipment of a Residium bars aboard that look to be roughly worth about 100,000 in gold. Small by previous shipments, but just big enough, I think, to make a change where it needs to be made. Now, the take on this is 10% each, with 50% going to myself and the town for all the information that we've managed to gather and provide for you on this particular job. If anyone has any objections, now's the time to speak.
I think that's agreeable.
This sounds fair.
Well said. Now, pursuant to that, I'd like to make y'all an offer on the successful culmination of this heist. As y'all know, this town is dying. We don't have any primary industries, and I have been in talks with the local township leaders to rethink our position out here. We're going to become a gambling town if all goes well. We're going to use this Residium to guarantee our bank. And if you would like to put your contribution of 10% into that bank, well, we can certainly make sure that you're taken care of on points in the back end. Now, as a reformed criminal, I can tell you, a percentage over many years adds up. So it might be a wiser method to make money than to have a cheap and quick score. But I'll leave that to y'all.
I appreciate the offer, but I'll just take my payment.
That's fine with me, Jace.
Are these shares, they are fungible, no?
You put your money into the pot so that we can put together the bank for the casinos that we're going to build. You get your cut of the casino's takings every year. That's the offer. Or you can take your 10% and you'll have our thanks. And Jason, I'm not particularly bothered about that either because, let's be honest, it's just going to end up in my pocket anyway, so.
Yeah, I know.
I will take the investment in exchange for naming rights.
Naming rights? Well, what would we call this?
Family.
I'm more than happy to discuss this with you. Now, the plan is to send you out ahead of the train leaving today. We'll get you to switch the tracks about 2 miles out so that the train is diverted down Black Gulch as opposed to the longer route that it would normally take. Now, the reason's twofold. Black Gulch is an ideal place for an ambush. But more so than that, it's the ideal place for a surreptitious entry. I'm going to give you some of my finest armadillos, and you're going to jump over the tracks from one side of the cliff. Make your way onto the roof of the train, and get yourself into a position where you can discouple the bank vault from the rear of it. Now, my little spy, and y'all might know her, she's a bit of a jewel around here, has informed me that the coupling mechanism is held in the front carriage where the train is situated, where the engine is. There's a complement of guards aboard, so you best be stealthy-like, or if y'all want to be, you can be very loud, but that's up to you, as long as it doesn't come back on me. And myself and some friends of ours will travel behind you at a pace with a large cart that we can then offload the stolen goods on. Sound agreeable?
Sounds like a plan.
We're going to need someone who's a bit of a specialist when it comes to explosives, so that's where you come in, Cardinal. I heard what you did earlier today, and my God, man, you need to know your measurements better.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Goddamn monkey's going off again. Apologies. It's a little idol that just sits there and makes a chime. And I don't know why I keep that thing.
You want me to
Do you
stab?
need to dispose of it for you?
I like this one.
Calm down. We're going to need gunfighters.
Monkey could make a good explosive device. Yes.
I mean, look, if you want to take it, and he just hucks it to you. Yeah, it's a little idol about this big. It just seems to make a chime every now and then. Now, we're going to need someone who knows.
Later.
Totally not.
No, not at all.
Brilliant. So he points to Delia, goes, of course, we're going to need someone who's familiar with the Residium and making sure that it's actually what we're looking for, as well as someone who can take care of herself in combat.
Of course. I definitely know how to classify something. And I hold my own. You've seen it.
Buzz here is good at getting to hard-to-reach places and getting past guards with ease. And we've definitely got two killers here with Jason. Get your name. Every time with the stash, man.
It's not as bad as
Pulls
yesterday.
out a pin at this point in time
Yeah.
and says, "Pins."
All right, Pins.
We also call him Bird.
Bird is fine too. Well, if you're going to make it to the switch point in time, you best leave now. And I've put together a small camping pack for y'all. You can spend the night staying under the stars and then get to Heiston in the morrow. How does that sound?
Yep, that leaves
Sounds
plenty of
great.
time for fun the rest of the day.
Excellent. Cole opens up the bank vault door and ushers you all out, and you are left to plan your escape / journey. Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna go out to be there overnight, and then the train is gonna come by in the morning. Is that right?
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. So basically, the whole idea is you're going to divert the train on a different track. It's a little bit shorter of a track, but goes for a place called Black Gulch. You are going to then leap onto the top of the train because there is plenty of places that can allow you to do so from there. And you're going to do so with some armadillos that have been provided to you now. Don't worry, armadillos are quite robust. They can fall from great heights without much muss or fuss. It just requires you to be, well, good at controlled landings on high-speed trains.
Before we
What could possibly go wrong?
before we rest for the night as well, Buzz will reassume the very plain looking form, and then also just give Jace a pat on the back and cast a lesser restoration to remove any hangover.
Thanks. That actually feels great.
No drink on job.
So you all are provided with armadillos and a direction. If you follow the train track, you'll find your destination quite easily. But I'm going to now pass over to Delia, as she's the one who put together this little caper, even though Cole has obviously worked out the fine details.
Well, we should collect our things and get going. We wouldn't want to miss our ride, as it were.
Excellent. You mount up, possibly after a quick bath, Luke, since you're still covered in... Oh, I don't know. Do you want to just go out there all covered in blown up bits?
I'll just give a quick wipe down. It'll be fine.
Brilliant. Yes, you make your way out into the flatlands beyond the town of Redemption. You follow the train rails for quite a way. And as you're journeying, can I get everybody to make a perception check, please?
Falls onto the hat while we roll the dice.
I got 10.
17.
Excellent.
22.
21.
Brilliant. Great.
8.
No, except for pins, I believe everyone passed the DC. No one got less than 14, right?
I got a 10, so yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually that's kind of beautiful, because what people may not have put together is that both Pins and Jace were on the opposite sides of the Great Emu War. So I don't know how that feels on the what's going on between Jace and Pins right now?
I don't know, because I feel like Jace is pretty open about the fact that like she didn't want to be there. Like she wasn't really invested in the war. So yeah, I guess it depends how Pins feels about that. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Pins is always keeping an eye on where Jace is and how close her hand is to a gun at any point in time. There's a deep level of suspicion that she may return to her former Emu War's self and just start shooting from the hip, especially at birds.
I feel like Jace is just completely unaware of this and is just like daydreaming, is like not really
Brilliant.
about, prior escapades.
The rest of you, Delia, Luke, and Buzz, as you're traveling on these armadillos, you see you see to your right, in the distance along the foothills, a small band of Tabaxi. Now, the Tabaxi are the native peoples of this land. Tabaxi sphinx cats, traditionally dressed with lots of hoops of gold that come down from their ears and around their neck. The claws, as their warriors are known, aren't really seen around these parts very often. But what's disturbing is they seem to be following you.
Yeah, we have company.
Yeah, I spotted them.
Well, they will not attack if intention's good. Do not antagonize.
Yeah, I don't
Yes.
Problem's not with them. We're going after a train.
Absolutely. They do seem to be following you, however. They are keeping their distance, and it's what you might even call respectful. But they are definitely keeping pace and keeping an eye on you. The sun is dipping down beyond the horizon as you finally arrive at a small wooden structure in front of which sits a large wrought black iron switch that has something that looks like you could possibly shoot it to force it to go to the other side of its changeover relay. It's not a bad place for camping, to be honest. It's fairly open terrain. But there is enough of a slope on the ground that you could potentially set yourself up with a nice brace against the cold wind during the night. There's plenty of bramble and all kinds of other things nearby that you could easily use as tinder for a fire. It's not a bad little situation. And as you rummage through the packs, you find that camping supplies have been kept for you. Cole was true to his word on that. You've got a little bit of food that you can eat. It's probably not the most filling. Like, you could certainly go and do better for yourselves if you wanted to bother hunting, but the night is yours.
Just gonna look around. I could have been testing outside. Wouldn't have blown up my house. Damn it. Well, now I know better.
But if you test inside, you understand better blast radius and destructibility. Now you know how best to test explosive if nothing to explode.
Celia, how are you feeling being out and camping rough, being someone from high society?
Celia is visibly a little uncomfortable. Not cold. She's wearing fur, so she'll be fine. But yes, she is a bit out of her depth in the wilderness, but not as much as you'd think. Like, she's done it before, but just really does not enjoy it.
Doing okay over there?
It is not my chosen idea to sleep outside, but needs must, and I suppose we should set up something warm before the night sets in. Would you care to help us with a fire, maybe?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Jace will just start helping, build the fire and stuff. Yeah.
Just mention that like a wooden structure, right? We just we could just hack that down for firewood.
That's absolutely doable. How are you going to disassemble this vital piece of infrastructure that's clearly here for a reason?
It's just
Luke,
the switch.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe just those bushes over there.
You're sitting there putting dynamite around the base of this thing.
Very Bugs Bunny.
This is like the Roadrunner skits.
Yeah.
As the destruction hobos are talking about that, Pins has gone off to actually explore what is obviously the ambush point that we're supposed to be doing, rather than, have a little bit of a campfire, and start setting out complicated models with bits of wood about how to attack things.
Yeah, great. Let's call that an investigation check.
Sure. So, like my moustache, a 19.
I'd say that's accurate. Great. So yeah, there are several points along this track that are actually perfect. And the beauty of something like a black iron train is that you can see and hear them from miles away. Like, it's going to be approaching, and you hear the sound of it chuffing along well before you actually see the thing. So by going, basically throwing the switch when you know it's nearby and heading to one of these prearranged points, it's quite easy for you to make your way onto the roof of this thing and get your ingress point. But as you're searching around, you actually discover that there is a number of tracks that have been here before. Can I get you to do a nature check for me, please?
How about anything but a nature check? Anything at all. Literally anything.
Literally anything?
Literally anything.
Literally anything? I tell you what, if you don't want to do a nature check, I'll let you do an intelligence check at disadvantage.
That seems a mighty fine awful deal. I'm taking the nature check.
Great.
That's 2 1s together, making 11.
An 11? So you look at this and you go, I'm not quite sure what made these tracks, but they're definitely not like people tracks. They are like bird feet. They're similar to your own in a way, but they seem a lot more brutish. In fact, it takes you a moment, and you look at it and you go, they also come in different sizes.
Yeah. In order to get the attention of the group, who are either talking about blowing things up, wrecking the building, then blowing it up, anyone that seems to be not doing that is the fine lady. So I kind of do a kind of bird wing dab at it to get her attention. And then signal her, kind of semaphore.
So I think, are you okay?
And keep pointing at it, because I've yet to come up with a human word for look at the bloody clue.
She'll hand it to it and go over and check out the whatever's
Great.
pin pointing at.
Roll me an insight check. Sorry, not insight. Roll me I was thinking about how you could communicate with pins. Roll me a nature check, please.
That's a 14.
14. Much the same information, but you're pretty certain whatever these are, they're not like the gentle folk that the gentle birds that you've met. Like, it's not a kenku track. It's not like a goosekin track. It's nothing like that. It's far too large and brutish. Possibly not animal though, if that makes sense. Like, it's just big. And what you do realize is actually there is a particularly large track here, and a furrow that goes with it, almost like it was dragging something along the ground.
I think that maybe what you're finding is a group of something, perhaps a mishmash of things very unlike yourself. There's drag marks, this is not right. This is just not right.
Pins looks at the lady, struggles the language, and then kind of gets this kind of sodic shrug, and then wrenching a feather out of his thing, and then dips it in ink and just starts writing notes.
That's certainly a way around it. What does he write?
He writes, "Please stop the idiots from destroying the things, and let's get the ambush set up properly. Watch out for Jace. Watch out."
I think. Oh, no, after you.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I think at this time, Buzz is actually not with the idiots and is actually gone in the opposite direction to scope out to see if the Tabashi is still following them.
Oh, okay, great. Roll me a perception check.
Okay, that's an 18.
Okay, so you've wandered further away from the camp than you thought you would, and as you do, you look into the distance and you see another firelight, actually not terribly far away from where you were. It's definitely been like concealed, so it's more like an ambient glow than anything else. Possibly they've dug like a small hole in the ground and then put the fire in there, but there is another campsite not too far away.
She takes one of her rats.
Mm.
You stay with group. I scope out.
It shakes its head vociferously and then scampers off.
Thank you, Mr. Squeakingtons.
And it like doffs its little cowboy hat. Because everything has a cowboy hat in the setting, apparently.
Well, of course.
So, are you attempting to approach the fire?
Yes, she'll go. She won't make too much noise, but isn't going to try and stealth. It's just going to be a normal approach, but not making too much noise.
Great. As you approach, you can see there is a much older Tabaxi sat at this fire, almost as though they're waiting for you to approach. The only thing that when it can see you, because obviously it being a Tabaxi, they're notoriously well known for being able to see in the night. Like its pupils are wide open, but it also actually give me a insight check.
I think I'm supposed to be good at those. Okay, a 24.
This Tabaxi is high on its supply. It is seeing spirits. It's doing something, but like if this were a completely different setting, it would have a big cocaine stripe under its nose. Its pupils are so this thing is so far into the next world that you're pretty certain it's not even mostly here. Its pupils fully dilated. It's like all of its whiskers like straight out. Its ears twitching in different directions. But as you approach, its tail like suddenly wraps up and starts to like twitch in certain ways. Quick history check. Sorry, I keep making you do checks for this, but the Tabaxi are a bit of an insular people.
They are a bit mysterious. So that's only a 13.
13. That's enough to know this. The Tabaxi don't usually speak. They can speak, but they don't. They actually communicate through tail signal, like most cats would. They only make noises when required. But it clearly thinks that it is, as it then opens its mouth and speaks and says, "Join my fire, sister."
I shall be a gracious guest.
Then it just licks its paw extremely quickly.
She'll sit down and have the swarm huddle around her her lap.
Yeah. As the rats move, like it's going like tracking the movement with its eyes as quickly as possible, and it's like not licking its lips, but it's clearly quite attracted to the rats that are swarming about you. And then it says, "No, I must not. I've eaten today. I know why you are here. My claws and I have followed you. You are coming for the mother's soul, aren't you?"
Yeah, the train. Or
Yes.
What is on it?
It is filled with mother soul. I believe in your tongue it is called residium.
Would Buzz know about the beliefs of the Tabaxi?
Probably. It's probably the most common thing that's known about them, because that was part of the reason why there was such a big issue with the Tabaxi as people were moving further and further east. The Tabaxi believe that residium is the soul of the mountain, and their entire belief system and religion is built around the mountain mothers, the idea that mountains have souls and therefore they live with these creatures and live with these spiritual beings. And so they kind of see people who come along and like mine all that stuff out of the mountain as at best thieves, at worst like heretics that are desecrating holy sites. But this elderly Tabaxi just sits there for a moment and goes, "I would warn you against stealing the mother soul. The act of taking is one that is not easy to stop, and those that have taken and taken and taken find that they cannot stop. Those who are friends become foes because the act of taking becomes all."
The act of taking the residuum itself. Or it is a strange thing. It's has many uses, but it's not worth the cost.
Well, you take from the mothers, and the mothers curse you in return. Be careful what you do with it.
And if return to mother,
if returned, then surely blessings will follow you. But I am not here. But I am not here to make judgment on you. I simply watch those that wander in similar paths. Be careful, Buzz. You are welcome to share my fire, but if you do not leave, your friends will miss you.
I thank you for your wisdom and your words.
Can I have one of your rats?
I brought along one of the old ones. He tells me he wishes to die noble death.
So this rat is sitting there like its hat in hands, like, I may be but a simple country rat, but I know what's right and what's wrong. And it steps onto your palm, like accepting death at this point. Habashay's like fully dilated eyes are just like staring at this thing and goes, I thank you for your gift.
To make sure, I give him to you on one condition. You give him good conversation before you make his last night worth.
Of course, we always play with our food. It's Tabashay tradition. So this poor little rat
it has been
looks up at you.
Pleasure knowing you, Sir Whiskers the Third.
It says mournfully as you hand it over to the Tabashay, who takes it and like closes it in its paw and then starts to pat it on the head. This thing is just like it's frozen in terror as this cat is just like stoned out of its mind and like patting its head.
Gentle.
Gentle, yes. This extremely strange sight is what probably stays with you the longest as you trudge back to camp. At the campsite, was there any movement on the fireplace, or shall we move on to the next day? Unless anyone wants to do any more investigation or looking out for any other issues.
So, Delia, how many people am I being expected to shoot tomorrow?
Honestly, as many as you'd like, just not those of us here, obviously.
Is there going to be many guards, or?
As far as we know, there's at least a handful, probably per car. It's definitely going to be fairly well guarded.
All right. Well, just tell me where to shoot. And she just like lies down on the ground, puts a hat over her face, and like immediately starts snoring.
Yeah. She out.
Yeah. Delia just turns to Pins and goes, I think whatever you were trying to say before is right, and that perhaps those two should not be left alone to their devices.
Pins makes a gesture with these wings at the various complicated models he's created of various ambush things, and you can just hear Jace snoring in the background, just like...
I love the fact that like the scout and the sniper can't speak a lick of speak in English. I just... It's just a comedy there.
It's fine.
That's it. The semaphore speak is brilliant. Right. So a fire is eventually made and you all bed down for the night and are woken the next morning to the sound of a piercing whistle as the big blank check approaches. Let's get ready to heist. It's about that time. Yep. So
Delia just yells out, I think that's our wake-up call coming.
Oh, you don't say.
Question. Would Cole have shown Buzz beforehand what perhaps any of the guards or attendants on this train might look like?
I don't think that was necessarily the case, but I'm just going to make it like a fiat decision. The people who were dressed in those blue tunics you saw Emeralda hanging around with, they were members of the guard that are going to be on this train. So like that would be information that you would definitely know. The numbers of which Cole mentioned to you privately are probably quite a lot. This thing is effectively a rolling fortress. This is all in the preamble to the plan that had kind of been put together, of which you were partially involved in. The problem is figuring out which cart has the vault in it, and then obviously decoupling the cart so that you guys can make your way into it and crack it open and get whatever you need to get out of there. A contingent of soldiers, probably quite a few. Does that answer the question, or have I just completely
that helps? Oh, that helps greatly. And Buzz will shift into the form of the one who Emeralda was straddling last night.
Great, struggling. Okay,
straddling.
Straddling. Fair enough. So Buzz becomes a rather fat human, just out of nowhere. Can't do the pops properly, but there you are. The switch needs to be thrown, guys, before this train gets here. So shall we give that one a red hot go?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Right. Excellent. So can I get a strength check, please, from whoever would like to try and throw the switch? And just for those of you who are in the chat, if you wanted to say throw from bad to worse, now's the time to do it.
Who has a non-negative strength?
No, is Jace the strongest one with a +1?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Luke,
I'm also one.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Well, maybe two of us together.
Maybe two of you and a bunch of rats.
Yeah.
Love it. So a tiefling, a high elf, and some rats walk into a bar. Walk up to a bar and attempt to pull it closed. Jace, can I get
though? Yeah.
Athletics would also work. Give me an athletics check, please, with advantage, since you're being helped.
Oh. Well, I got a 6 and a 2, so that's a red hot 10.
Crunch, crunch. It doesn't move.
God damn it!
The kinky goes across, looks at Jace, does the shooing effect, rolls his wings, and then bird claws it.
What, for his foot?
Yeah, why not? And then kick it down.
Love it. Roll me a strength check.
Athletic. Did you say athletics?
Oh, sorry, athletics. You can do athletics, yes.
That's a massive 15.
Oh,
massive 15.
Massive.
Crunch, creak. It starts to move, and now the line is halfway through. So what you've managed to do is set up a successful derailment. That might be cool.
All right. So
might not be as well.
Need to get all of us to just dogpile on this thing.
Yeah.
Can I with the swarm? I'm going to cast Mage Hand, but it's the rats that actually form the hand.
Yep.
And then they're just going to grab a hold of it and try and help. Little pins.
Great. Yeah, so Pins, you're struggling with this thing. It's not moving. And then just this wobbling hand of rats just erupts from the ground, latches onto it, just... Yippee. Latches on. Give me another roll of the D20 now that you have advantage.
That is a 22.
Oh, that's what
There
we
we
like
go.
to see.
That's some buff rats. Yeah, this thing goes crunch, and then the points immediately shift over, splitting the track off onto the desired path.
Yeah, I just have
through
this
Black
vision of
Gulch.
Pins just seeing these rats come jumping up, and he kind of lunges forward to eat one of them, and then that just helps the extra kind of bit. It's that impetus to get himself around.
That boost of protein.
They will
excellent.
nip you if you try.
Excellent.
Oh,
With the train track now set into the right direction, you can now make your way to the jump off point with your armadillos, and you are going to need a bit of a run up because it is not exactly close. You see the big blank check start to follow the point changeover from your position, and you can see this thing actually lives up to the name Rolling Fortress. It is a long, sleek black iron coach. The end of this train actually has a raised platform, and what looks like a Gatling gun has been placed on top of it to oversee the vehicle.
Oh,
Is there
snap.
anybody on that platform actually using the gun?
You see a single guard sitting there, but he's looking back the way he came, and he seems a little bit confused, like he's looking over his shoulder.
To Georgina, Pins will point at the exceptionally large sniper rifle sitting on his lap and like,
Yeah, I feel like Jace would see this as well. Like Jace is now in like business mode. So she'll probably, sorry, unless Deal, I didn't want me to interrupt. But because I have a Deadeye shot, so this is probably the time I would use it.
Okay,
To
great.
try and take out the guard, yeah.
So it looks like Jace and Pins are going to have a shooting competition. Let's roll and see what happens. Shall we? Single attack from both of you.
Okay. So I'm going to give myself advantage using my Deadeye shots.
Excellent. Gunslingers
This
have a
feels
pretty
important.
excellent. Go for it.
I rolled
Rolling
another
high.
natural one. But I got a
Damn it,
17.
Excellent. And what did Pins manage to do?
clearly put up by Jason, her shenanigans. I get a 14.
Great. Well, so I'll get you both to roll damage actually for me.
Mm-hmm. What is that? D10 plus 2. 11.
11. Great. And what did you roll there, Pins?
Right, this thing roars because it's bad news off your
Ooh.
list.
Damn, yep.
2d12. So dumb mechanics thing here. I'm playing an assassin, so if it's surprised, this becomes a crit automatically.
Yep.
Yay.
He's definitely surprised. He's like, we're not on the right track. And oh God, I have a large slug of lead in me now.
Yeah, so that becomes a 28 damage.
Okay, so
That is a number.
you have successfully killed this man twice over. So Jace, you shoot him, and I think it's a heart shot. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, you pull the pistol out, aim square up, fire, and then you just hear boom as this other rifle fires, and the guy's upper torso just disappears. He is painted across the back of this vehicle. The gun goes spinning on its what do they call it, on its pintle, and the single guard that was there is now no longer corporeal. The body rolls off, hits the dirt, and I'm going to now roll to see if you've alerted anyone with the sound of that. Okay, interesting. Good. The train is now hurtling towards you. I believe you are all into position to make the stupidest decision of your lives, to try and jump onto the back of a rushing train. I would like everybody to either decide, and this is the decision you guys can make, you can either do animal handling checks to convince the armadillos to leap over the thing and then make your way down, or you can do it attempt to do it with a athletics check. You will get advantage on the landing, just so you know, if you decide to use the armadillo. And if not, you will have to do it just flat if you manage to make it on there with your athletics. Does everyone get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. So we either jump or we use the armadillo.
Yep. So let's go around and see how this goes. Let's start with Delia. Delia, can I get either a flat athletics or a flat animal handling to make this happen?
They're the same, so it doesn't matter.
Brilliant. Go for it.
18.
Woo.
18 animal handling, I'm assuming. Brilliant. So, Delia, you kick your spur into the armadillo. It immediately whoops into a little ball, rolls on its gyros, and then just heads for the cliff. It leaps. Let's go. Luke, animal handling or athletics?
I also went animal handling, and I got a 17.
Beautiful. Following suit, you see Luke leap with on the back of his armadillo. Like if we're looking up from the shot, you see these things just like kissing the air as they fly over this train as it rushes underneath. Buzz, what's your decision?
Animal handling.
Beautiful.
And she's going to beforehand also cast Speak with Animals to help convince it.
Okay, go for it.
Nat 20.
Okay. What happens?
Just whispers into the armadillo's ear. Just, and then it perks up, and like never before, it starts sprinting before leaping into the air.
Brilliant. Yeah, so just there's 3 cannonball shapes just leaping off this cliff. Pins, what's going on here?
Pins doesn't really like any of those ideas, and those rolls prove that it was a stupid idea to try and jump a large armadillo onto it. A massive and obviously completely safe 11 as the armadillo crashes headlong into the top of the roof, I should imagine.
Yeah, big dent. Just crushes in. The armadillo's fine. It literally just continues its roll as Pins. I'll get you to do a save in a moment. But Jace, what's happening with you?
Okay, so I just rolled a moment ago. I rolled animal handling. So Jace is on. She's not very familiar with using these creatures before, but she's like, okay, this is what everyone's doing, I guess. So I rolled a natural 1. But I am going to use my lucky feet to roll again. So I feel like maybe I fall off of the armadillo, and then I'm going to try and like just make the jump as I'm kind of falling. So let's see. Oh, I got a natural 20.
There we go.
You don't so much jump as you just. You don't know so much jump as you just step off and land. That's beautiful. I love it. So. This is kind of hilarious. You see these 3 armadillos roll off 5 armadillos roll off this cliff, 2 of which just eat shit straight off the bat. The other 3 like disgorge their passengers and continue to roll off to potentially a prearranged point. Who knows what's in the mind of an armadillo? Can I get those who managed to make their landing safely? So Georgina, Luke, and Buzz to make a Dex save with advantage, please.
I got an 18.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Goodness, it's with advantage. Okay, Dex 16.
Excellent. Delia, how'd we do?
We cannot hear you.
Hello? Oh.
Oh, we've lost you.
Uh-oh.
Go Kenku and just sign.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, while Delia is sorting out some technical issues, let's resolve Pins. Pins, can I just get you to make a Dex save, please?
See, D&D Beyond rolls, and I think I'm getting like a 19, and it's actually a 9 plus 5, so that's a plus 6. That's 6. No, that's 15. I can't even do math when I'm cheating. 16. 15.
I didn't cheat roll.
I said 15.
Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, no, you managed to you scrabble for a moment, your feet catching on the burnished metal of this roof, and then you managed to right yourself up. Whoa, holding this massive cannon. It's probably still smoking at this point. It's like a bird with a giant. That's a mental image and a half. And Jace, look, honestly, the natty 20 after the failure, I think we're just going to leave it. You just step off delicately. You got to honor the 20s, right? Delia, have we resolved the mic issue?
No.
Unfortunately not. Can't. Okay. Well, you know what? This might be the perfect time to leave you all with a bit of a cliffhanger while we go to a quick break. It'll allow Delia to get her microphone all sorted out, and we'll find out whether or not she falls to her death, I guess, on a speeding train. Thanks very much. Stick around and do look at donating to benefit Jasper's Game Week, Australian Edition. Welcome back, Ramblers. How are we doing? When we left you at the break, the wonderful Delia Noir was possibly catapulting herself to death. So let's resolve that roll now that we've resolved that audio issue and see how she's done. Because the party
she
are
rolled
perched.
a 19.
Beautiful. Excellent. So, yes, thunk, clunk. Delia Noir has touchdown. The entire party manages to land on the train as they just whip past where they were. This thing's running at a speed. If you fell off, you probably would not necessarily survive this. It depends on where you landed and how you landed. But it is chugging along. So, fun fact. We've just had a black powder special come in for pins, poor pins. So I'm now going to have to roll a D100. We've landed successfully on the top of this train. Let's hope this doesn't affect everybody. Okay. All right, let's have a look here. This is actually incredible, and I can't believe this was the result we got. Each creature within 30 feet of you becomes invisible for the next minute. The invisibility ends on a creature when it attacks or casts a spell.
Oh,
so,
Amazing.
Wow. Now, I could choose to interpret that as everyone except pins because it becomes invisible.
Let's take it that way. I like where you're going with this.
I like this. So I think what's happened is like Pins has landed with his smoking rifle, and one of the bullets that is still in the chamber just knocks slightly badly, and it sets off the residium powder in the black powder. And there is it's almost like it misfires, but instead it just releases this gout of gas that it's colored like a sort of pale purple, just gushes out across the entire top of this train, immediately disappears into the distance behind you. But Pins, you are now completely alone on this train. And everyone else, as far as you're concerned, everyone, yourself and Pins are the only people that are here.
Where did everybody go?
What the hell just happened? I can't see myself.
Wait, where?
Are you guys all still here?
Yeah. Pins gestures to be quiet to the invisible friends he can't see through the smoke, because they're clearly idiots again. They're on a secret mission.
Top of a loud train. I don't know.
Is it each creature?
Each creature within 30 feet. You know what? I'm willing to even say that some of the armadillos just disappear as they roll off.
And the rats?
However, oh yeah, the rats are all gone and nowhere to be seen. It's interesting that you're worried about being quiet because you have this massive dent in the roof of this train. So
come on.
At this point,
I have an intelligence of -1. What do you want? I can't be
third brain.
I literally thought you were the brains of the group. That's why I was deferring to you.
It's like the blind leading the blind, leading the more blind.
The drunken
Brilliant.
killer. I mean, thanks.
Excellent. So, you hear the train release like a big gust of steam, woo, as you see ahead of you as you turn to look, that it is about to disappear into a tunnel. You have
get inside
30 seconds
quickly.
to get inside. You do not see any easily accessible entry point from where you're standing currently on top of this train.
Is there a side that can be hung on to pretty easily?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I feel like Jace would probably go down on her belly and go to the side to look down and see if there are windows.
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
Oh, here we go. My dice have been very fickle. Okay. 18.
18. You poke your head out, and as you do so, you see someone staring up from the window. And you see someone's mouth just go, and shouting erupts from beneath the carriage.
So Jace isn't invisible?
Oh, actually, shit, you're right. Never mind. I take that back.
Buzz saving my butt.
I tip my hat to someone who was paying attention. There we go. No, you know what? Absolutely. Now, okay, no, look up. They're like, must have been some kind of flying ram or something. They see nothing, but you see them looking up quizzically, wondering what the heck's going on.
Can I see it all inside the carriage? Like, if I kind of really...
If you want to chance a acrobatics check, you absolutely can.
Yeah, I'll do it. What could go wrong? It's a one-shot,
What could go wrong? Hint chat, a lot could go wrong.
I could roll an 11.
Okay. You slip and fall. You start to tumble down, and as you do so, your life flashes before your eyes. I wonder, however, if there's anyone here that's quick enough on their feet to... Oh, actually, no, you're invisible.
I'm invisible.
You're going to die. Sorry.
I have a net. Can I use my net somehow to, like, catch myself? Like,
absolutely. This is a Wild Wild West we're talking about. I will let you, with disadvantage, attempt to... if it's a... How would I do this? I'm going to let you do it as a dex check because you're trying to basically hoop this onto something. However, I will give you advantage because you are using the net.
Okay.
Hopefully you can catch it onto some part of the train's superstructure.
Okay. Because the net has a +5, but I guess that's when it's an attack. Or it says a hit / DC +5.
No, this is a dex check to try and get this thing around something.
Nope.
Yeah, sorry. What was that you were saying, Chris?
I was going to say, so pins is the only thing visible on top of the train, and Jason's
Absolutely.
got a net.
Yes, that's fair. I think the net would probably be invisible, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, all your gear becomes invisible.
Yeah. Look, what do we think, chat?
I got a dirty 20, if that helps.
I had a plan, but
I just wanted to look in the window before we hit the tunnel.
I feel like your dice are kind of like weirdly cursed and blessed. You're rolling ridiculously low, then ridiculously high. There's no middle curve for you. So with that dirty 20, you managed to latch onto the corner of the carriage, and the momentum that you managed to do this with swings you around. You land on the platform and just kind of go. It's the if you've watched Galaxy Quest, but they're standing there after they've been transferred through Infinity, because you saw literally like the gravel that would reef the skin from your bones and flay you alive go past from you like face like by this far. Okay. Jace is down and secured. What's happening with everybody else? The tunnel approaches.
Are there any like ladders or anything on the edges, like the ends of the cars, to get down in between?
You would have to go to that end to do so, but on doing so, yes, absolutely, there are like ladders to get down and access to the platforms. So, Jace, you swung basically behind where you were, so you're further towards the rear of the train at this point. Dealer
ladders.
Yeah, I would run away from the tunnel, so like further back to the end of the car that we're on, and just climb down that ladder.
Yeah. I will do the same.
Excellent.
Like the
Pins. Yeah, Pins. I'm assuming you're making like a...
Yeah, Pins has lost everyone and then basically hits the thing and hits the top of the roof and then slides down to the platform that we saw at the back. Because I thought there was a platform at the back we could land to, which seemed to be the easiest way rather than trying to murder yourself by jumping off the train and hanging on to the side. So he makes his way to the back of the train and goes down to that ledge.
Correct.
Which was the plan.
Excellent. So by hook or crook, you all managed to find yourself in the same spot, and it's now very crowded on this sort of rear. That you're all bumping into each other whilst invisible, with Pins along with you for the ride. How long does this thing last? My goodness. Next minute, the train suddenly goes into the tunnel, and 30 seconds later out of the tunnel, and everybody is standing there next to you, Pins, on the end of this train platform.
Pins is down at the lock, picking the lock with a pin.
Brilliant. Excellent. Go for it. Roll me. Is it sleight of hand or the Thieves' Tools? Are you Thieves' Tools up?
Thieves' Tools.
Excellent. Go for it. So Pins is on mission.
That is finally a natural 20.
There we go.
You just, it's like the pin. It's like the pin itself was just designed for this lock. You just click, click, and it opens, swinging out slightly. and you all sneak into the rear car of the train, where you see a whole pile of boxes and a single person who seems to be just still staring out of this window trying to get a look at the roof. There is a massive dent in, rather like convex. It's a big circle in the roof.
I think in that 30 seconds, I would have like whispered to the group that I'd seen someone and probably have the gun out ready.
Great.
Point of order, Buzz still looks like one of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Point of order indeed. So the only other thing inside this carriage is a large metal cage which sits inside a gigantic horned lizard. They're carrying live cargo. This thing is the size of one of these armadillos, which is the large creature, and it lazily looks at you with one of its bloodshot eyes.
I thought they were a whole Residium. Where'd this come from?
Is the guard next to the lizard?
Yes. So it's window guard lizard. You could probably sneak between the two, but it might be difficult.
Buzz might go and cause a distraction.
Okay.
I want to cast Fog Cloud. Does that catch both of them in it?
Yeah, absolutely would.
Big.
Great. So just for those of us at home, what's the fog cloud actually do in terms of your flavor?
Delia almost just like whispers to herself and just gestures towards it, and this like smoke, looks more smoke than fog, just kind of swirls out from this like orb and expands to a 20-foot radius, just kind of like around them.
Brilliant. You hear this guard go, "What the hell? You letting off big old farts or something there, Jeeves?" And the horned lizard just growls.
Just sneak quietly past?
Absolutely. Everyone can roll stealth checks, I believe, with advantage. They would like to get on past.
Going to roll a stealth check and sneak up behind the guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's advantage.
I got 16.
Great.
I rolled a 1 and a 2, so I got a 4.
Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to show you on camera because you won't believe me otherwise. I rolled a 1 on him to notice. Realistically, I should be using his passive, but I think he's a little bit alerted by the situation. This guy's just like, as he's looking around, you basically do that thing of where you sort of just like keep out of his eyesight, make it to the next door, and if you do so wish, slip on through to the next bit between the two carts.
That's a 25 for Buzz.
Beautiful.
And 19 for Delia.
As long as anyone didn't roll less than 3, I think you're good.
All right.
So what did you roll, Lee? Oh my God, that was close. Okay, there you go. Brilliant. So you all make it into the next car, which is...
Buzz wants to knock him unconscious.
Okay, go for it. Normally this would be combat, but I don't particularly have an issue with you just whopping him on the head with something if you want. Roll me an attack and do damage.
Pass you my crowbar.
Ooh, okay. So it's a 19 plus whatever my attack is. Yeah.
Absolutely hits.
Yeah. And she's just going to whop him on the back of the head with the pommel of one of her short swords.
Great. Just do me D4 plus strength for damage.
Okay. Minus strength, you mean? Or can it be Dex?
Oh, is it a finesse weapon?
Yes.
Absolutely. Go on.
So 3 plus 3.
Brilliant. Yeah, he goes down like a sack of potatoes. Yeah, he's gurgling a little bit. You might have actually discombobulated him quite badly. Yeah, he's out. Okay.
Well, that was easy.
I might just observe him, tilt my head to the side, and try to take on his form.
Excellent. So, moving forward, we have another cart in front of you if you all want to go and head inside. The monkey decides to make a noise.
Oh, I thought I turned it off. I just pulled it out of my pocket.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, am I right? Yes, this door is unlocked. It's only the rear door that they locked up, apparently, for obvious reasons. And
That's lazy.
as you peek inside, you see that this is some kind of communal area for the guards. There seems to be a poker game in progress just ahead of you. You haven't opened the door the entire way, but you are going to have to get past them if you want to succeed at your goal of finding the vault.
How many are there in here?
Yeah.
They're playing a full game of cards, so it'd be 6 guards, all set around a small table.
Yikes.
Well, I can maybe take 2 of them.
Did you want me to go and distract them first? He's
I
now
think
speaking
there are
in disguised
several ways
voice.
we could distract them. I think there are several ways we could distract them.
I meant distract them before we, take them out.
Yeah, that could absolutely be something you do.
Whatever you got.
Okay. So, Buzz, what do you do to distract the guards?
I need a break from that carriage. That beast is real stinky. You know what I mean?
You're impersonating the previous guy?
Yes. She can change her vocal cords.
Great. They go, Cletus, get your ass back into that cart and watch the giant horn thing that Elris wants.
He's sleeping. It's fine. Come on.
Do you know how hard it was to get him on?
Yeah, but he's sleeping like a little baby now.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check. With advantage.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yes, thank goodness for advantage. Not 20.
All right, I guess one hand won't hurt.
Because the other roll was a 2.
Right. So yeah, these guys deal you in, and you take your place around this very cramped table. What next?
Yeah, that's my question.
You're playing cards with the other cards and guards.
Sits down and plays cards.
This is how I end my game.
I could make them all really shiny if you guys just want to bust through them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So I think this is where I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I feel
so
like
this is going to be an attack.
It's probably gonna. It's a spell. It's probably gonna also catch Buzz, depending on where I can position this thing. So I just pull out a little pouch. It's got some powder on it. I just light the end of the bag and then toss it into the middle. So when it burns into the inside, it explodes into a glitter bomb.
Brilliant.
And,
okay, I'm going to say. Sorry, go on.
It's a dex save.
Brilliant. Okay, before we do anything like that, I am going to get everybody to roll initiative, and the guards are going to be considered surprised, because they are. All right. Finally, a little bit of combat. Let's get these guns a-blazing. All right, just call out the numbers as they come.
12.
19.
14.
10.
16.
Brilliant. So the order is going to be Delia, followed by Pins, followed by Buzz. Then we have Jace, and then we have the guards, followed, lucky last, by Luke. However,
oh, wonderful.
I'm just going to say, for sake of argument, that Luke's the top of the order for this round because whatever, and then we'll keep going from there. So, Luke, yeah, so this is a dex save, you said?
Yes, 15.
15. Okay, they rolled a total of 12. So they are all going to eat this at the same time. What kind of effect / damage are we looking at here?
No, it's not damaged. It's just that the powder's clinging to them. It's glowing brightly. Now all attacks against them have advantage.
Oh, brilliant!
They can't benefit from being invisible.
Excellent. So these guys they just all like throw themselves back from the table, confused. They look like they've been glitter bombed. It is insanely messy. It's in my eyes and my teeth and my nose. I can't see, smell, or breathe. As we go to the top of the order, Delia, it is your turn.
Delia is going to take a very bold action and just run in with her rapier, like drawing her rapier as she goes, and just taking a slice at whichever is first that is not Buzz.
Great. So Buzz just recently changed. I'm not sure if you know who Buzz is. We'll see how that goes. I might have to see how that plays out. Don't crit fail. That's all I'll say.
No pressure.
Roll me an attack.
It's with advantage, right? Because of the verifier?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Double ones. Here we go.
Don't.
Double ones.
We've had so many nat ones.
There was one of them
twice.
that was a nat one. But the other one's a 10, so it's a 15 to hit.
Absolutely. Roll your damage.
Excellent, which means I also get my sneak attack because I rolled with advantage. And
absolutely,
also
and they are
roll from the
surprised.
grave.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, what happens? Tell us all about it.
So as you see this very different side of Delia, who's very, like, kind of gung-ho into this, like, room, as she slices into this guard, you almost, like, emanating from her, not as though she's, like, making this sound, but it's almost like this, like almost banshee kind of scream, not quite as, like, deafening as that, but that kind of, like, haunted scream that you hear as she makes contact with this guard. So
excellent.
So the rapier does 4 damage.
Okay.
And
then, plus dex?
Not a good roll. The sneak attack is 7 damage on that guard. And then the guard closest to that guard also gets 5 damage. Okay. So, yeah, you whip this rapier through this guard, and it actually just sort of cleaves through him almost on a spiritual, like, soul level. You see yourself chase the soul out of this man and then continue through into the next one. They both fall over dead with looks of horror on their face. You're pretty certain the blade has actually traveled through them, not on this plane, and cut them down in their prime, like the Reaper scything a soul. They fall over dead. And it is, I mean, if you want to move, you can, but I know you moved up, so you're probably good. Yeah.
Excellent. It is now Pin's turn. And just to remind you, we got a trick shot for you, Moth.
Yes.
So make sure you keep that in mind.
Keeping that in mind for when I eventually roll a 1 without advantage.
Pins, being the master assassin that he is, pulls out 2 lethal objects, and as they haven't yet, we've got advantage. He's going to be critting regardless.
Beautiful.
Unless, of course, he gets 2 1s and ends the evil that is Buzz.
Oh, wow.
We'll see.
Just saying. I mean, it's unnatural to have a hat that large and look that good in it. So, you know, there has to be some sort of promise of evil that's gone on in there. So, let's just advantage a roll. So close to those natural ones, but no 20 to hit. Yeah.
Excellent. These two separate targets or the same one?
So that was just advantage. The first one's going to stab the first one, the second one, so it happens.
Yep.
But that
Great.
is... You might want to get some more monsters because that was just 35 points of damage on the first one.
These are just dudes with, they work on a salary. They're just getting paid like $2 a day.
It was his last day before retirement.
That's it, right? So those pins, like you throw from you, like just underarm, I'm assuming, or something like that, fly straight up their noses and basically explode out the back of their heads. They fall over dead as the pins sort of flex open and shut as they hit. Two more of these, like 4 out of the 6 guards are dead, and we're not even at the third person in the sequence. Buzz, it's your turn. You and 2 of your friends are standing still. I'm going to say you're between both of them.
Ah, golly, what's happening here? As then she
takes, this is a complete surprise.
As then she takes out her short swords and tries to stab them both.
Excellent. Roll 2 attacks with advantage. Love it.
Ah, golly. Okay. First one's a 22. Second one is a 15.
15? Both hit, absolutely.
Okay.
Damage.
And I believe she can probably use that Swarm Keeper thing. Yeah, so the on one of them, it'll take an extra D6 because the rats are going to bite.
Okay.
So that the first attack is a 3 plus 3 plus 2, so 8.
Yep, that'll do it. The blade goes in through the neck and out the other side, and the man gives out a gargle and falls to the floor dead.
And the second one is a 12. Sorry, not 12, 9.
9. Plus rat damage?
It's only once per turn.
Okay, right. So the rats are currently eating the one that you just killed after, like, a critical ankle injury makes him collapse. This guy, basically the same thing, right through and through. He effectively just goes, and then they're done. Combat's over. There are 6 corpses in front of you and a ton of cards that have been disturbed, and about $15 in change on the small makeshift table.
God damn it, you couldn't save any for me?
The gunfighter is disappointed that they weren't able to gunfight.
I put my guns out and I'm just like...
You want to take one shot before I turn back? Or
No. You know, we probably could have asked him something about the vault. But you're all out with your knives just getting in there.
I blame Delia. She rushed in.
In the terminus of this battle, you hear a voice suddenly echo throughout the train. It is a gruff dwarven man's voice, and I will attempt to do it for you now because he has a southern gentleman's accent. Attention intruders who are currently making their way through my train. I do not know why you are here or why you have chosen to abscond yourself upon my vehicle, but know that I will hunt you down and have you killed for this trespass. If you surrender, perhaps I will be merciful and simply throw you from this vehicle, but should you show any sort of resistance, I will instead be forced to send my very good friend, the Burstfire Maguire, to sort y'all out. And then it sort of cuts off with that squeak of like a intercom.
Do you recognize the voice?
Yes. He's a bit of a big man around town. It is the one, the only Boris Chainforge.
And who would recognize that name, the other name from before?
Yes, Burstfire Maguire was the gunslinger that straight up murdered a dude for no other reason than apparently he was disturbing his drinking.
That's not fair. If he's got Maguire on his team. Ugh.
Well, let's move forward because there's only one way but forward. The party will make them. I guess you guys will move to the next carriage. Well, thankfully,
Absolutely.
and luckily, this appears to be the motherlode. You are standing before a safe that is roughly 6 foot by 6 foot. Bolted to the bottom of this carriage. It's completely empty, and it has a simple tumbler and what do they call them? Like a spinning wheel that you would see on many safes. This must be it. This must be where the residium is kept. Your goal is in sight.
Cool.
All
So
right.
do we need to, because I know the plan was to like uncouple it, right? So do we need to
Absolutely.
get around it to...
There's
Like-
enough space to get either side of it, so you can keep going. But the plans of the train that you're aware of said that the thing can be safely decoupled from the engine. You could try an unsafe method of decoupling if you were so inclined. And it might be
Oh,
your
so
only...
we have to go... Okay, so we have to go further forward to get to the engine room. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, cool.
We'll try to inspect the coupling mechanism, or can we get there yet?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go around this thing. It's literally, it just sits like
Okay.
bolted to the floor inside this carriage. Absolutely.
Should we ensure that the residuum is actually there?
Good question.
Perhaps
I believe-
that is a good idea.
Well, creepy bird over here is the one with the picks, so...
I've done it before in my time too. Maybe I can assist.
It probably is a two-person job. All right, let's roll another lock-picking check with advantage as Pins and Delia start to work on this safe.
As Pins has no ears because he's a bird, he pulls out a stethoscope and puts him, I don't know, roughly where bird ears should be. I don't
Puts
know.
him on
This
his
is
skull.
D&D. Sure, well,
Yep.
DM brings more to it, for goodness sake.
Oh,
He'll
absolutely.
eat the other end.
There's like little knobs of bone where the ears should be.
Sure. Okay.
Get those primary vibrations coming on down.
Can I just
Love it.
do echolocation? Ka-ka! Ka-ka!
Yeah. So you're quietly like cooing at this thing while you're twisting the.
No, become a victim. With the game.
Love it. Excellent. Roll them dice. Roll them bones. The pigeon emojis in the chat. I love it.
For reference, it's the only animal noise I can convincingly make.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That's a 18. Oh no, plus 21. Sorry.
21?
Yep.
Clunk. You hear the first tumbler slip into place. As you do, the door at the other side of the carriage opens and you hear the clank of spurs on wooden planks as Burstfire Maguire makes his entrance.
Look.
Looks at you all and goes, "Afternoon."
Look, it might be time for a kaboom.
I understand that y'all seem to be stealing from my employer.
Ka-ka!
What would give you that idea?
Well, the bird is currently picking the lock, from what I can tell. The changeling seems mighty twitchy. The gunfighter seems like she might be a bit of a challenge.
He can tell that she's a
And-
changeling then?
Oh yeah, he's yeah. Rob, actually, are you're magical, so you would have some kind of understanding of the arcane, correct?
Yes.
Roll me an Arcana check.
12.
12. That would be enough. He's got a little pendant around his neck, sort of like the old style like neckties. That seems to be incredibly magical, and you're pretty certain that has true sight on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then he looks and goes and tips his hat and goes, "Miss Noir, my respect to you and your family."
That's much appreciated.
Now I could kill y'all where you stand. And then he sort of tilts. We could come to an accommodation since only a fool would attempt to steal from a man as powerful as Chainforge without a plan.
You assume we don't have a plan.
Oh no, I assume you have a plan. Unless y'all are idiots.
Yeah, we got a plan.
Maybe you should
Definitely have a plan.
not assume.
Well, here's I thought we was negotiating, but we can get right to the killing if y'all prefer.
What is terms of deal?
Well, clearly you all got a way to get this residuum out of here, and I don't particularly like my employer, so you
Can I get an
palm off
insight
20%. Yeah,
on
go
this
for
guy?
it. Absolutely.
I got 10.
He's a gunslinger too, right? Right, chat? He's a gunslinger too. I think like knows like. Let's roll that with advantage.
Hey, look at that. Nope, I rolled a natural 1.
Yeah. Great. Jason, you got 2 Black Powder specials. They go off 2 separate times. I think while you're squaring off, looking at burst fire, one of them happens. Like you're sort of just like, yeah, I'm getting this. Oh boy. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically, if you were like, nah, fuck this guy, like you would want to pretty much shoot him straight up, right?
Yeah, probably. Like I'd be like, enough of this jackass talking. Yeah.
So you did get magic missile cast at 5th level. So like let's resolve that and then let's perhaps roll for initiative, shall we?
All right. Yeah. So Jason, just go. I'm already only getting 10%. I'm not cutting someone else in, and I'll just pull out my pistol, and I guess we can flavor the magic missile as like.
Yeah. The shot goes wild in your in one of the chambers, and yeah, just what is it? 5th level, so it's what, like 7?
7 bolts.
Yeah, 7 bolts of magic missile fly from the revolver.
What is that?
And
D4s?
D4s, correct. Plus your casting. Oh no, I think it's just
7 D4 plus 7.
Okay.
D4 plus 7.
How many D4s I have? Sorry, don't mind me. Well, I probably should just do it on D&D Beyond.
Brilliant.
But I'm in now. All right, there's 4. So.
Jeez. Oh god. Okay.
This went very quickly awry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's negotiate. No.
Sorry. Why are D4s so hard to pick up?
Oh boy,
So 18
okay.
plus 7, so 25.
25. Yeah, you catch this guy. Like you're the one who's casting magic missile. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so yeah, she'll just like flat out just pull it out. Just very calmly squeeze a trigger, and then I guess it just like maybe the bullet just kind of like explodes into several pieces.
Yeah.
I mean that doesn't necessarily do what I was, but yeah, we'll flavor it that way.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Brilliant. So it's just this shrapnel shot just hits this guy square in the chest. He's like surprised that he's being hit, and then he immediately goes for the hip. And I'll get everybody to roll initiative.
Hey. Thank you to whoever that.
Oh fuck. Okay. Burst fire rolled a natty 20.
I'm using my trick shot.
Okay, great. Awesome.
That first one was a 1. Did you want me to take a photo?
No, I trust you. You're my players.
Because it's a nat 20. What is happening?
We have some wild numbers here.
This feels so appropriate.
So it's a 23.
So that's a 23 for Buzz. Burst fire's on a 25. Delia, what did we get?
15.
15. Jace, what did we get?
19.
19. Pins, what did we get?
Pin's got a 1 and a 0, making 10.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Luke?
16.
16. Okay, great. So yeah, Burstfire is going to go first, and he's going to loose 6 shots at each of you, with the second shot going to Jace, because there's only 5 of y'all.
Nah, you beat my initiative.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he has a +5 because he's the best gunslinger in the West, right? But also he rolled kind of crap. Holy crap! Okay. Oh Jesus, I'm so sorry, Jace. The only one he's actually shot really well at was Jace. Everything else is sub 10.
Man.
Let's see. But that being said, he may still ruin some people's days. I'm going to resolve Jace's first because one of them is a nat 20, the other one is a 19.
Yikes!
So
Yowzers.
so that's 15 on the dice, +5. So he's going to go straight up, do 20 damage to you as he fires. That's 1 bullet into you, and then the second one is another 8 points of damage as it just he just basically just twists, fires twice, and then immediately moves to his next target, which is Delia.
Before he does
Yeah,
it,
go
if it's okay, I will use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Oh hell yeah, go for it.
So yeah, just be like, God damn it, your bus could suck my boob. So that is, you must make a dex save through.
Brilliant. He's actually quite good at those. But what's the DC?
Yeah. The DC is it's 11.
Yeah, he beats that with just the dice.
Okay, so he does take half damage. So
Okay, great.
He takes 2 damage.
Damn, that's nothing.
Every little bit counts,
So you're like-
right?
So he fires twice. You go yourself, and then he just like, I'm really offended by that. Moving on. So Delia, you're very lucky. He rolled a 2 on that, but that means his total's 11. So hopefully your AC isn't that low.
13.
Great. 13. Excellent. Luke, that is a 19 on the die, unfortunately. Sorry, not 19. My math is bad. That is 8 plus 9. That is a number 17.
17. I will cast shield so
Excellent.
that he doesn't hit me.
Brilliant. Great. So yeah, you're just like, oh crap. Shield up. Bullet ricochets off.
He's just swinging his jacket in front of him.
Yep. Oh, the duster actually catches it. That's sick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Pins. That's a total of 13 on you. Does that hit?
13 to hit? Nope.
Yeah.
I use
No hit?
Jace as a human shield.
That's what everybody seems to be. Great. And then last but not least, Buzz. Does a 14 hit you?
That is my AC.
Okay, so we're going to do some damage there. So that is going to be 10 points of damage on you.
Yep. Okay.
So in rapid succession, he fires this, and then he basically just twirls his pistol, and you see his hands almost move supernaturally fast as he effectively just changes out the shot. And now he's fully loaded up again, ready to go. It is now Buzz's turn.
All right. Going to use my bonus action to do a Zephyr Strike.
Excellent.
To cast that, which basically means that my movement won't provoke opportunity attacks. I will give myself advantage on 1 weapon attack roll, and it will deal an extra 1d8 force damage.
Great.
As
Excellent.
she takes out her short swords and almost like the wind just runs him through with both of them.
Oh damn. Cold as ice. Okay. What did you roll again? Sorry, to attack?
So the first attack is a 22.
Absolutely hits.
Second attack, 20.
20, both hit. Absolutely go for it. Roll them damages.
The first one I will do use the Zephyr Strike, so that will be a 1d6 plus 3 plus 1d8. So that will be 6 plus what's it, d8? 12 damage.
I love that you're 12. Excellent. I love that every time you try to consult your dice, you just become a hat. It's pretty
I
great.
must consult the Elder Gods.
I can't wait for someone to get the second Dimmadome so we can start seeing the tower up. That'd be great.
Oh god. I'm gonna have to
yeah.
duck.
Excellent.
Damage on my second attack, which is
Absolutely.
going to be one where he's going to take it from. Wait, who in the party is ranged? Everyone?
I think most
pretty
are.
much.
Okay. In that case, on the second attack, I'll roll a d6 so that he takes damage from the swarm.
Oh shit! The rats.
Are
you ready for the rat attack?
That is a 9 plus, so that's a 14 damage.
Shit, that's pretty good. So yeah, how does so you run up, stab him twice, and then I guess the rats are just swarming over your shoulders and down
just
your arms?
swarming down my arms and up around his neck and trying to crawl over the barrel of his gun.
Great. He does not like that at all. He recoils in terror because all of a sudden this person has just thrown rats at him and they are biting and nibbling at him. But he is still standing and still seems pretty pissed off. So moving on to the next person in the order, that's Jace. Now, Jace, I'm sorry to do this to you, but you had 2 black powder shots.
Okay, all right.
So we're going to have to see how that rolls. I'm ready.
Bring it on.
Let's see what that gets you. What is up with these dice? Okay, Jace, as you go to try and fire again, another one of these shots just misfires. Bear in mind, these actually still can be used as shots. It's just the magic in them is funky. And you suddenly shimmer and split into 3 as you cast mirror image on yourself.
Very cool. That's excellent.
Yeah.
We like that.
Excellent. So do you know mirror image? As a spell, do you know mirror image?
I can pull it out real quick. It's that I get it's disadvantage against me, right?
I believe it's disadvantage plus I believe you roll a d20 to determine whether or not you actually hit the right person.
Yep.
Do pull that up. It has you know the pain of being a DM. You're just like, I don't know every spell in the spell book. Quick
Okay,
reference.
sweet. Yeah, cool.
And then sometimes your players try to punch an aboleth and they're level 3 and it's...
Yeah. That is not what's happened in any of my games, but I can absolutely see that happening. So yeah, you suddenly split into
It never happens.
Whoa, I'm seeing double 6 Jaces. So thank you. There's a Simpsons reference for you all.
Jaces,
Jace, yeah. So
Jacepodes.
the Noid Dwells and the Noir Dwells and the Jaces are ready to go. So please go ahead and do your turn. Make your attack.
Yeah. So I think Jace is like, even though she talked a big talk with her brother, she's probably feeling a bit shaken, and I feel like this was like, she's pretty badly hurt right now. So she's gonna kind of take that rage and try and channel it into these next shots. So let's see how we go, because the dice would be wild. Okay, I got a 14 and a 15. No, sorry, that's an 18. So 23 on the second one.
So the first one was 14, the second one was 23?
Yeah.
The second one hits.
Second one hits. Okie dokie. Oh, nice. I rolled on a 7, so that's 9 damage. And then I'm going to actually use my action surge to go again.
Nope, okay.
Yeah, you can take 1 additional action on your turn. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do again. Brilliant. So I'm going to shoot twice again. And then I think I need to reload soon. Oh, God, I rolled badly. The other one misses. I got 18.
18 hits?
18 hits. And I got... 12. Another 12 damage.
12 damage. Excellent. Yeah, he's not looking amazing, but he's still pretty much in the prime of strength at this point. Now, I'm going to get... so you've used all your attacks. Are you planning to move at all?
I probably would just move... as long as I'm like in a good position. Yeah, I think that's fine. And I'll just use my bonus action to do my second win, because I really need some hit points.
Absolutely.
So I'll just do that now. Yeah.
Great. Okay, moving on. Next in the order is Luke. So, care to know what you're doing?
All right, he's gonna, from one of his pouches, pull out what looks like a miniature mortar tube, and just gonna toss it over on top of the safe. And then there's a little ball of force energy that appears below it. So I summon my Eldritch Cannon, and it basically just rolls around like BB-8.
Oh, that's sick.
So good.
All right.
Burstfire goes, what in the hell's was that?
That is a 6th creature for it to target if it ever gets another chance. Anyway,
Well,
action to summon that, and my bonus action, I will point the cannon at Jace and take a shot.
At Jace?
Kill Jace. That's it. TPK.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did I say wrong name? I'm saying wrong name.
Curses.
Could you?
It's Shooty McShootface.
Okay. Yeah. At McGuire. Shooting at taking a shot at McGuire, and I rolled a nat 20. So.
Hey!
Okay, explode that damage. Now, would you prefer to roll 2 dice or just double up whatever you get?
Well, it's actually 2d8 regularly, so I just rolled 4.
Yeah.
I got a total of 25 damage on that hit.
Oh my god. So he's kind of perplexed by what the heck this thing is, and then it just hits him in the chest. He's like, oh! And like fully takes like a half step back as this thing hits like his protective cloak. You actually, just quickly as a free action, roll me an Arcana check.
Arcana, you know what? I am good at those. Except
I had a thinking you might.
only get a 13.
Okay, that is still enough. It's not particularly difficult to figure this out. His clothes are magically imbued with some kind of resistance.
Okay.
Absolutely. Something that you might actually be interested in getting your hands on if you manage to put this guy down. But, you know, there's
sure.
a lot of time between now and then. Moving on, unless you have any other actions you'd like to make.
That's it for actions. I will, in front of Jace, and because I was able to just shake off his attack before, so I will just be in between Fire and Jace.
Great. Speaking of who's next, it is in fact Delia. That was a weird sentence, but there we go. Delia, it's your turn.
So in terms of like where everyone is spaced, is he kind of like on the other side of where the safe?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So I want to bonus action, like cunning action to hide, and then I want to move around the other side of the safe and try and take a shot at him.
Oh, absolutely.
Hit it. Yep.
Yeah, let's do that. Absolutely. Go for it.
Sick.
I love it. So much stuff's happening. He's just like, what in the hell? Like, this carriage is filled with gun smoke. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah.
That's
what in the same hell? That's a 22. That hits. Absolutely. Oh, now Delia has this tiny little dainty pistol, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's one of those like thigh holstered like little
Brilliant.
revolvers it's mainly black iron, as her family own it, with like little inlays of like filigrane ivory.
Yeah, great.
And she just like whips up her dress and like grabs it out and goes for him.
Brilliant. Yeah, roll damage.
So that's 10 damage.
Yeah, sweet. Oh god. Yeah, he's looking pretty haggard at this point. So if that's that action, after Delia some damage, we're gonna go straight to. Well, look, it had to be said. We're gonna go straight to pins, bringing up the. Actually, yep, that's correct. Going straight to pins, bringing up the rear.
Pin sees what's happening, and with bird-like grace, and basically draws 2 large pins and leaps forward and stabs him with short sword-sized pins.
Okay.
We're just turning him into a pin cushion.
Yeah, this guy's looking not mate.
So
yeah,
let's go. And that's a very unclean 20 on my first attack.
That will hit, though. Unclean 20.
And
the
that
filth of the 20s.
Oh, and the lovely Buzz is standing right next to me, right?
Yes, they would be.
Sneak attack.
Hell yes, go for it.
So that is a total of 23 points of damage.
Okay, gee whiz. All right. So he gets stabbed and just sort of stops and like his hands go slack and he just sort of looks at himself and goes, well, shit. And he sort of he steps back a little bit unsure and he goes, it weren't my idea to do this, but I hope I see you sons of bitches in hell. And he pulls 2 sticks of high-grade, like, residium explosive out, lobs one towards you, and then looks towards you, Pin, and will attempt to grapple you. That is going to fail miserably, so he swipes at you, pulls at the air. I highly doubt you can fail against a 1, but let's see how it goes. What the hell? He really...
That's 16.
He just swipes lazily at you. And he goes, oh, shit, and then explodes along with the other piece of dynamite. I need everybody to make dex saves.
This might tickle.
Can I get advantage for being hidden on the other side of the safe?
You may.
Thanks.
Delia and Y, always looking out for number 1. Love it.
Got 13.
13? Okay.
21.
Unfortunately. 21?
5.
Okay.
18.
17.
17? All right. Everybody who rolled less than 15 is now going to take 8d6 damage. Sorry. People who rolled above that get to take half damage. Unless they have evasive. In which case they just don't. Which is insane, but there you go. Okay, let's do some... look, you might survive. 5, 15...
Keep forgetting to use my
21.
lucky points. I really should be using them.
23, 24 points of damage.
Is it too late for me to use a luck point? I'll respect it
look.
if you say yes.
You know what? We're getting pretty close to the end here. What do we think, chat? Do we feel like maybe we've got one more either black powder special or a re-roll in the chamber to help out poor Jace before she gets blown apart? I think we might have it in us. Surely someone
I can pick it back up.
Well, there is that.
All right. Well, yeah. If I don't get the lucky roll, that's fine. I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine I get blasted back and just slam into the safe and just crumple on the floor,
Oof.
unconscious.
Out like a light. How's everyone else looking with that 24 points of damage, or 12 if you've taken half?
Looking bloodied, but still. So it was 24, but halved.
If you've rolled above 15, yes.
Okay. Then I'm looking much healthier than I thought.
Excellent.
Yeah, that hit a lot harder than my explosion back home. But I'm still standing.
Yep. You know what's not standing? The front half of this carriage. You've managed to separate yourself and slowly start to pull away from the train itself. And you can hear over the broken loudspeaker, God damn it, what did you do, McGraw? McGuire? The name's wrong, but it's okay. I know you're behind this.
I don't know how far away whatever this voice is.
Yeah.
But can I use thaumaturgy to try and respond?
Absolutely.
Excellent. I just booming my voice with thaumaturgy. I just say, "You're welcome, Changeforge." My blessings from the Noirs.
Damn you, Noir! As he chuffs off into the distance. Now, let's talk about what happens afterwards. The train the carriage-on rolls to a slow pace and then stops. And about a half hour to an hour later, a armadillo carriage rolls up behind you with one McGrath sitting. Oh, Chris, I'm so sorry. I wanted to see that go, but I love it. With a bloodied party all arrayed around a safe that has been successfully picked open. Jace has been seen to, is a little bit better, less worse for wear than she was. But McGrath just looks at the devastation.
McGrath or?
Sorry, McGrath. Cole. He goes by Cole. Cole Amity. That's it. Cole Amity, the proprietor of the Last Stop Saloon, looks around with a couple of his men who have come armed for danger, and goes, "But I didn't think you'd blow the damn thing up."
Wasn't our choice.
Wasn't planned.
These things really are. Well, let's get this residium loaded up. Now, these bars of precious residium are sort of like a tarnished copper. And the bars are like almost reverentially passed like a human chain into the back of this cart that's been set up. Can I get everyone to roll a perception check?
17.
17?
19.
20.
20?
30.
Jace has other priorities right now.
Jace is already drinking.
Absolutely. And Pins, how we looking?
16.
16? Brilliant. Okay, so everybody who rolled above 13 can see this. The Tabache have made their appearance and are now currently arrayed, about 50 of them, along this ridge line, looking down at the prize of residium they see. Buzz, you can actually see the elder that you spoke to sitting there on the back of his armadillo. Unlike you people from the more civilized parts of the world, the Tabache just ride the back of these armadillo by just walking on them really quickly. So they sort of do this weird like tumbling ball thing, but you actually see that he hasn't eaten your rat. He's sitting there just patting it, and this rat is sitting there like on his shoulder. He's like just sort of feeding him little morsels of something. It's a little bit of a distance, so you can't really tell what detail there is. But they seem to be watching what you're doing with the residium, but they are not interfering.
At this point, that Buzz is going to go over and talk with Cole for a moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Buzz, you've done yourself a great service. This is quite the haul.
You bring extra armadillo like promised?
Absolutely. You need me to help? Well, y'all need to just say the word.
I give my cut to, and she'll nod up to the ridge.
Yeah, he just sort of furrows his eyebrows and goes, "Sure money, I suppose." All right.
Other clients pay better.
Fair, absolutely fair. And he flashes you a sort of wolfish grin. He goes, "Oh, as I said, let me know."
Pleasure doing business.
And you, ma'am. He tips his cap and then gestures for one of these men to set aside a small mound, roughly 10%, just next to the cart to leave with the Tabache as they finish piling all the residium into this wagon, ready to take back.
And then Buzz is going to take her armadillo with her before clocking Delia in the back of the head.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Come on.
That one.
Nat 1 or nat 20.
It's a crit.
Love it.
What is happening?
Okay. So, Delia, you're ecstatic. You've just managed to show Pa what you're made of. You've stolen from one of his biggest rivals, and what's more, it's your success. You've now got naming rights to a casino. You're living the high life, and then all of a sudden, everything goes black as you tumble forward, and to reveal Buzz, who's like whacked you over the top of the head. A little rat wrapped around her wrist. And Cole just goes, "Damn, that's cold."
Damn it. If it wasn't crit, I would still have 1 HP no matter what.
Well, this is, I'm afraid to say, a little bit narrative, but you know. Yeah, I think people are looking.
Before she goes down, you just hear, "The Noirs send their regards."
Yeah. And Cole just sort of like brings a rifle up and just goes, "Now don't get it twisted. Papa Noir's asked for her to be returned safely to the Noir household. It's just business. She still gets her cut, although I suspect she won't be able to claim it for a while."
Honestly, I think I'm done with redemption for a while. You can keep my cut. I don't think I earned it. And she's just gonna like walk off into the sunset after that horror show of a performance.
Because Cole calls out and says, "I'll leave it with your brother. Maybe he can do some good with it."
I turn back around. Nope. You can leave it with wherever Buzz left theirs. Then I go.
Okay. 1/10 of the haul is put aside for the tabache. I'm curious to know what Pins and Luke are making of this sudden but inevitable betrayal.
The hell was that about? Buzz, what's going on?
I get paid better from her papa.
Oh. Well, I don't want to piss anyone off, so I'm just gonna consider that not my business. She's still alive, right?
I returned safely to Papa.
Okay. Well,
she's definitely breathing, gurgling. Possibly
right.
Should be put in a recovery position. We'll find out.
And I will. I'm just gonna not interfere with that one. I'll let that one go.
And Pins, how are we looking?
2 things. Pin.
Yep.
Pulls, writes a quick note, and then chucks it down to the unconscious form. And then he's watching Jace walk away. He knows that she'll be back one day to wreak more havoc and
Oh.
I absolutely love this like one-sided nemesis. Like Jace has no investment in this fight, but Pins is like, "I'm gonna get you."
While we wait for Chris to come back, hopefully he doesn't get gets unfrozen.
It's such a great spot to freeze it.
We'll never find out what the words are.
Excellent. I think what we'll do is we'll get Soren to possibly play us out. As I'm certain that Chris is I'm certain Pins is ready to swear vengeance and keep an eye on the distrustful Jace as she disappears away. What kind of sane person leaves money on the table? Oh, we've lost him. Well, perhaps what we'll do is we'll just wait a moment while he returns. Is there anything anyone else wants to do while they're finishing up securing all the actually, I know what will happen. After you portion aside the Residium bars for the tabache, they very slowly wind their way down the hill and make their way forward with a respectful air and distance. So there is a wiggling of tails as a number of the claws of the tribe come forward and start to gather up the Mother Soul and respectfully nod to those who gave their portions and look a little bit askance at those that didn't. As Pins does his mysterious stranger and disappears off into the distance, I don't know if he's coming back or not. Those of you who decide to travel back to Redemption all pile back into the cart with Cole and goes, as he goes, "Well, that's one hell of a day. let's head back to Redemption. Yes. Jace, Chris is back. Sorry, Chris. I was sort of like
my long monologue in Kenku. No one understands a word I just said.
Yeah. There's lots of gesturing. So what is Pins doing? I've just explained that the Tabaxi have come down to grab the Residium.
Yeah, so Pins never trusts Jace in the first place. I knew there would be some sort of double cross going on. It was bound to happen. He leaves a note for the unconscious Georgina. Said, "I've told you they're idiots."
Brilliant.
Takes his money and then rides off in the nearest armadillo.
Yep, absolutely. Armadillos. Yep. I like the idea that they're heading, like Jace and Pins are both heading off in different directions. One to the sunset, one not. The Tabaxi gather their mother soul and respectfully nod, disappear without saying a word. There's just lots of tail twitching. The rat salutes Buzz. He's now got honorary little golden loops hanging from his ears, all kinds of stuff. He's been accepted. And Luke, just Luke actually. Oh no, Buzz would be just Luke. Luke jumps on the back and Cole is like,
this casino.
Yeah, he's like, well, we're gonna need someone to help build it.
I'm in.
And the party split off into their separate destinations, hopefully a little richer, whether it be in friends, in finances, or in feelings. And with that has been Residium Heist. Hey!
And nothing went wrong.
And nothing went wrong.
Not at all.
It all went according to my plan. What are you talking about?
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching Residium Heist. I have been your dungeon. I love it. I have been your dungeon master, Mathew. I am the DM of There Be Dragons, the podcast. It's set in a bespoke world of sword and gunpowder, so this isn't all that different to me, but I would love to take this moment to go around and talk about and shout out each of my wonderful players this evening, and I'd like to include one of our absentees who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. The wonderful CJ from Chicken Salt Bays was unable to make it. RIP. I hope everything's going well, and let's go around and do what we did before. Introduce ourselves, where we're from, who we played, and I don't know, whatever else you want to say. Let's start off with Jace, aka Luboffin.
Hey everyone, yes, I've been Luna, aka Luboffin. This is so much fun. You can find me here on Twitch. I don't know if I'm allowed to post links in the chat, but that's my YouTube channel. If you're interested in Critical Role, you might like my content because I cover a lot of Critical Role stuff. I've been timed out from chat. That's fine. You can also find me by searching Luboffin everywhere on the internet. That's it.
Brilliant. Round us out. Let's go to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm Kevin. I don't have any online presence. I was just here to play D&D. You're not going to find me anywhere.
No,
I was just having some fun.
But thank you so much for putting in a bid and getting one of the auction seats for the game. How are we looking on the donations track? We must be doing really well today, Soren. Better than nothing. There we go. All right. But yes, thank you, Kevin, for putting in an auction bid. Let's move on to the lovely Delia or Georgina.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Georgina. I was playing Delia. This was actually my first time playing D&D on a stream, which was very daunting and very exciting. So thank you for indulging me.
Absolutely. It was wonderful for DM for you. See, that's the Dimmadome right there, Buzz. Look at that.
You can get one more.
Well, while Scarlet Moth's getting her last one, let's go to Chris and get him to say his piece.
We can do it.
Yeah. Bye. You're all lovely. That's it. Move on.
That's it from...
Get back to you. Thanks, Soren.
The monkey goes off. And Moth.
Hi, Hi, I'm Scarlet Moth. You can find me on such websites as Twitter at that Scarlet Moth. I am an artist, a cosplayer, and a dice designer at Level Up Dice. You can find out more about what I do by going onto Twitter or to any of my socials. Cool stuff coming up soon. And also, I'm wearing a big hat, a big hat tower.
That's very impressive. I'm sad we didn't get to see that in the game, but now we get to see it anyway. So, you know, that's awesome. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute...
really heavy.
You can probably take that off now. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure being your DM for this evening. Please do continue to support Jasper's Game Week Australian Edition. We, I believe, have one more day of games ready to go tomorrow, so do check in nice and bright and early. I believe the first one is, 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time? Is that correct? 12, my bad. I live in the west of the country, so everything's out by a couple of hours. Thanks so much, and we'll see you some other time, possibly out there on the range. Bye.
Yeehaw.
Are we out? No.
And that's it for day 5 of Jasper's Game Week Aussie Edition. Many, many thanks to Sam Humphreys, Rob and Matt for GMing, and to all the cast members who calmly and obediently followed along the narrative laid out for them. But thank you most of all to the audience for your participation and contributions. Money raised goes to Beyond Blue. They do an amazing job in helping people with mental health issues and suicide prevention. See you tomorrow for the last day of incredible games with Nick, Shu, and AJ.